Guys, good morning, Mr. Red. Hello, guys. Welcome back. So, yesterday was a freaking mess. What a disaster of a start to yesterday's game series. But it was fun. It was a good time. Anybody that doesn't know, we were doing the Elder Scrolls Arena, which is the first Elder Scrolls game ever. It was like 1994. It's 31 years old. And it was rough. It was rough to start out. Learning everything and just how to work the game was the harder part. But after getting rolling, dude, it's fun. It's a good game. I like it. Every Monday, we're going to be jumping into that. And today, and other days in between, what are we doing? I guess we're going to go back to Vvardenfell, but why don't we start out with like a daily dungeon? Lime Polar Seltzer. What's the polar? What's the polar in the lime seltzer? Is it like a polar bear? Is it white? Is it cold? What's the polar mean? That's confusing, dude. Polar's the brand. Oh, well, that's also confusing. Man, the inventory is what it is. Wow, that was fast. I was expecting to have like at least a 20-minute queue. Yeah, the inventory is a little bit on the rough side. Our transmute crystals are full, which is actually a good thing. We're going to be working towards a new build soon. I would like to make a build that revolves around... I want to make a DD build. Well, I don't know. Maybe a PvP build would be better. But one that revolves around the Band of Malakath. Malakath's Band of Brutality, or whatever it's called. That, and that would be cool, I guess. But I think our next priority is going to be a tank build.
You wandered into the wrong hollow, friend.
Oh, I don't have enough resources. And I'm definitely not pulling enemies together. Alright, warming up, warming up. I gotta remember how to play this character. I don't love the Herald of the Tome, man. Just here to look pretty. Who is this dude talking that smack? Oh, he's the tank. Okay, okay. So yeah, we'll knock out this dungeon today. We might squeeze into other daily stuff. We'll see how that goes.
Imperium lights, moose, ill men.
Healer.
You four.
After that, we're gonna jump into Vvardenfell then.
I will not suffer the humiliation of failure. Give death to a cannon reeve. Burn it!
Did I just get interrupted? What an embarrassing moment.
Heal me!
I can't wait to have my immobile or my my AoE thing like yoink enemies. Yeah, that thing. Whatever that was.
Intruders! End them! We don't have
I
time.
need heal.
Man, what a disaster this dungeon is. Stuff is all over the place, man. Started the zone yet, or fresh start on the zone? Are you talking about Vvardenfell? We have started Vvardenfell. What are we, like 2 or 3 days into it? We did it this weekend, but I didn't like prioritize it. Mostly did like dungeons on Saturday. And then, Sunday I think we made some good progress, but we started with like strictly the, whoa! We started with the, oh, what the freaking heck? The side quests. Sorry. I haven't gotten enough caffeine in me yet. Oh, okay. That was disrespectful.
I'm hurt! Light it up!
It is fun beaming. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just not quite as satisfactory as the other build. It's a good build. It works for sure. You know what? Okay. All right. Also tragic. Oh, I keep forgetting that I can't beam and like type in the chat at the same time. It like cancels my beam, dude, which is a little bit annoying. I wish it wouldn't do that, because like I want to cast the beam and then like simultaneously talk in chat. And I was trying to tell the teammates that there was a chest on the side. Excuse me, I am not interruptible. Yeah, dude. Just casually melting health bars, that's all. Two master chests in one? I can't hit him. There we go. I feel like we do pretty good damage. I just, something tells me it could be better. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, I think my beam should be hitting for like 40 something. When we're like fully buffed, when the teammates are providing everything too, like I feel like we ought to be hitting for like 42, 45. But I don't know. I don't know. It's alright. Oh, they're fighting stuff.
Go around.
I need help.
Nice. Alright. I think we want to do hard mode. Why would we not? I don't know. There's like no reason not to. It won't let me do it. What the problem is, game? Alright, I guess we're hanging out. We'll let somebody else do it. There we go. There we go. I don't know what the deal was.
You won't stop me. My prince is coming with an army that ends your
36K is pretty good. That's not bad. Okay. I don't even want to talk about it.
not the end.
Alright, 350,000 XP is not bad at all. Let's maybe deal with the male after we get out of combat.
Orneth sold her soul completely. And Thalmor will not be happy with
2 master chests is crazy though. So yeah, we I forget exactly where we left off directly in Vvardenfell. But I want to say that we did like pretty much the entire left half of side quest specifically. Boom. What's this? Stuff from the werewolf gang, I think. Yeah. So I missed this one. I couldn't find the side quest here. So I was hoping maybe we'd stumble across it somewhere else and just casually find ourselves moving back towards there to finish the quest, whatever it is. Or we'll just come back another day for it. But I think we're going to push into like this bottom half right here. Maybe even grab that quest. And as much as I kind of sort of don't want to do it, I think we're going to stick with the beams. Like, we need to max out that tree. Once that tree's maxed out, then we can change it out. We can start a new build. What am I putting points into? This one? Sure. Magical status effects? I don't see us doing that very much. Is there anything else that can go in there for free? Not really. I mean, I guess we could take max magic next. Healing received by 2%. Reduces damage taken by magical attacks, by martial attacks. Yeah, let's hit this tree next. Whatever that is, sure. Because we have to have our fishing passes, right? It's not an option. Are we in Alinor? No. Yeah, hold on. Let's go do our writs quick. I feel like I haven't paid hardly any attention at all to writs for, I don't know, a good while. So, let's do them. And repair our armor, too. What's her name? Oh, I thought I said Clavicus. We're probably not gonna have enough quest slots. One short. Eat my freaking butt, game, dude. Alright, I haven't checked research for a little while either. I know we're getting pretty close to being done with it entirely, but it's not gonna hurt to stay on top of it. Yeah, well, whew, 18 days. Yeah, we got plenty of time. Oh, the jewelry's what I missed. Yeah. Alright, tell me we got like a crap ton of those yellow materials. 7 of them. Calling it right now. Two? Okay, well, you know what? It's better than 0. Is there something more important here? There's 2 traits left on the shoulder pieces. 2 traits on the chest piece. We should probably do, like... It doesn't matter. Whichever one has the least. It's not like we're going to use those traits on those pieces. Like, medium pieces are really never going to get reinforced. That doesn't make any sense. But, we still need to do the research for it. I saw that for the monthly rewards, there's like a crap ton of, I forget what they're called. I don't know what they're called. The instant researching things. They're not called scrolls. I don't know what they are. Whatever they are. They're kind of a slap in the face. Like, they were awesome. I was so happy to be getting those every second that we needed research done. But now that we kind of don't need research done, I'm like, Why am I logging in? That's kind of how it feels, just a little bit. If they weren't bound to your character, it'd be different. I'd just like give them away or something. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. Research on this. I think we're missing Nirnhund. Yeah, we're missing Nirnhund on the lightning staff and the shield. I might want to just buy them. I've been kind of putting it off. I've been like, well, we'll get one for like an arena or something, but I haven't, so maybe it's best to buy them. Nirnhund on a lightning staff and a shield. We can stop at Grotwood on the way to Vvardenfell. Okay, those got a couple days left. It's just Nirnhund on the armor left. Now we need to get, like, I don't know, whatever's got left on these. So, daggers. I kind of want to do the greatsword. Like, I know we should do the ones that, you know what, screw it. We're going to do the ones that have the most amount of traits available. Oh, we have a Nirnhund battle axe? That's crazy. That was super crazy. Do I have any of those research things, though? Not yet. We're going to get some from the month, though. Or no, still good morning, sir. Hello. Watching some of yesterday's streams, it occurs to you that if you bought Elder Scrolls Arena back in the day, the games included a manual. Maybe you could look up a manual. I actually did pull up a manual. Yesterday, dude, I was struggle bussing. It was hard. Because, on Steam, on PC, when you buy it, it doesn't come with any instructions. It doesn't, nothing. There's no menu where it says, like, here is your buttons, or literally nothing. Dang it, I shouldn't use Columbine. This stuff's expensive. So it was tough to get rolling, but, I would have probably never figured it out if it wasn't for pulling up. I don't know what website it was. It was probably just like a wiki page or whatever, but it was like super useful because it essentially just listed like all of the different things that you can do and what buttons are bound to them. Really inconvenient keybinds, by the way. J is jump in that game, and I think that alone is enough of an explanation as to how bad the keybinds are. But either way, oh yeah, and also, like, it's not WASD to move around. You can use your left click with your mouse and, like, moving the mouse to the top, left, like, right, and, or sorry, bottom and right. So bottom would be moving backwards, like your S key. The top of the screen would be your W key, right? And then A and D would be your side pieces, so you'd move the mouse to that direction. But, like, you can't like move forward and turn at the same time with the mouse. So like you got to use the arrow keys, but this is a me problem. I have a compressed keyboard, or like a condensed keyboard, so I'm missing like a lot of keybinds, and the keybinds that I'm not missing are typically hidden behind like your FN button. So like in order to press like my F1, F2 buttons, I got to use like FN and then press 1 to hit F1. Or like my arrow keys, I need to hold FN down and then use like the buttons that they're bound to. And so instead of using WASD, I had to like completely flip my keyboard around, and instead of like having your thumb on the space bar like you normally would, I just like held the FN button down. So I've got like I got like a divot in my thumb from just like pressing the corner of the button down for 4 hours yesterday. But it was fun, man. It's got a lot of character. Dude, the game's 31 years old, man. Like, it's 31 years is older than I am. Like, it's, as far as like the video game world goes, it is old as crap. Because, look, if you're a human that is 31 years old, that's really not that old. Let's be honest. It's not that old, right? I'm not almost 31 or anything like that, so it can't be that old. But in terms of video games, man, and the way technology's like moved forward and progressed and advanced, and I know Right, careful. Sorry, it was just jokes. I am almost 31. I'll be there. Just give me a couple more years. But you gotta self-deprecate a little bit whenever you when you tread on territory like that. But so yeah, the game has a lot of character. It is very aged when it comes to your concept of video games. If you play brand new video games, if you're like a Fortnite generation kid, like this is not anything that you've ever seen before. It's like the very beginning of three-dimensional movement in a game. Like literally the very beginning. They had like just fabricated that concept in that like general time period. Everything before that was like Tetris or like Pac-Man, even like two-dimensional scrolling, like with the old versions of I don't know, like Mario, stuff like that. Like, so it's very, very unique in the way that it was kind of like a pivotal point in gaming development, but still like got baby legs. It's really cool. It's a nice experience, man. I'm enjoying it. We need a lightning staff with Nernhund, right? Sorry, I'm still stuffy and sniffy, dude. I'm sorry for all the schnuffles and stiffles. Lightning staff, there we go. 23K? That probably sounds about right for a price. You're gonna try to watch the entire video before the next stream of it? Are you talking about the entire video like a tutorial? Excuse me, a tutorial of Arena? Because
Take a look.
I kind of want to watch a little something on it too. Not because I want to spoil it. Like I want to specifically avoid spoilers and like the progress of the game. But I would like a little bit of a direction, just because I don't know where to go. We need a shield too. I guess a shield is technically armor, isn't it? It is. Nice. 8.5K, sure. Oh, you mean the stream of the game? All right, yeah, dude. If you've got any tips or tricks, let me know. It was fun, man. I feel like I just ran in circles though. Like after I got out of the Imperial sewers. What's this?
Let's talk.
Scordo, what you doing here? So you grew up playing Roller Coaster Tycoon and understanding the feeling, or so you understand the feeling. Keyboard and mouse weren't as accessible back in the day. They definitely weren't. It's not the same, but regardless, it's a lot of fun. It's a good challenge, is what it is. You watched the full playthrough about a month ago, so of Arena, right?
Hey there, pal. Guess it's my lucky day. You're just the kind of problem solver I was hoping to run into. There's trouble on Solstice.
Yeah.
A worm cult sort of trouble. I could use your help.
All right, we'll pick this up, but we're not gonna go to Solstice quite yet. Red, were you the one that mentioned yesterday that you think that the only way to beat Arena is by using magic to glitch through walls? Because if that's the case, man, I don't really want to do that. But I would like to genuinely beat the game. I think it'd be fun.
Neither had I. Not before the worm cult attacked the fighters' guild halls and killed my friend. Now Princess Oz calling for champions from across Tamriel to join the Stirk Fellowship and put down the cult. You interested?
Somebody mentioned that yesterday. Ernesto, it might have even been you. One of you guys, somebody mentioned it. So I apologize for not remembering who it was, but regardless, I'm not saying I want to explore every nook and cranny, every inch of that world, because the moment I left the city gates, I didn't realize it until like 45 minutes into it, maybe an hour into it, but I ran forever. Like I just ran in a straight line through the world. I didn't realize how massive the world was going to be. It's huge. And I don't know where I am. I'm so lost, and you can't like get a proper view of the map. There's an item you can get. Okay. You do need a spell to break walls, but I'm not a spellcaster though, so I technically can't even use spells. I can't even wear heavy armor, bro. I think I made a mistake by choosing the archer class, because it's way more fun just bashing things over the head with a hammer, and I can use a hammer, but I can't wear the big armor to, you know, support the whole staying up close to enemies thing. You had a few older friends on Elder Scrolls Online that played all the Elder Scrolls, so that's they'd bless you with their knowledge of Elder Scrolls throughout the game that they played, or with the time that they played. Yeah, so that's what I want to do. That's what I want, man. I want the experience of the old games too. I want to like put the proper game lore together. I don't want to just like watch a video of the lore to have it explained to me. I love when you guys discuss the lore and teach me things, but I do think that it'd be so much fun to play through the entire series and just learn the lore that way too. Even though that's not going to give us everything, I think that is definitely a piece of the puzzle that I myself am missing, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to share it with the stream too, right? He did a warrior build and he didn't glitch anything. Got it. All right, so you can beat it properly. That's good to know. As long as, because I know a lot of those older games, there's things like that. They've got character enough to say that, like, sometimes you kind of have to break them a little bit. It depends on the circumstances. But, regardless, we are going to try our best to beat that game properly. Looked at you picking the class and noticed you didn't scroll down. There's a full list of classes? I thought it was just a few. We might have to start over. Oh, all right. Well, now that I know how to play the game, we'll see. Well, there's a slim chance that we might try to start over, because the sewers are not that hard to get out of. It was just a rough start because I had no idea what I was doing. I think if I did start over, it wouldn't take too long to get back to where I was. Like, I think I could probably get back to where I was in like an hour. The only thing that's going to hurt is like the XP gain that I had. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. Played a game called Nexa. I don't know what that word is. It's a 29-year-old game, and still today you'd pay to play it. $10. Wait. What? Wait, today it's a pay to play? What do you mean a pay to play? $10 a month? You mean you gotta insert quarters into your PC? I don't understand.
Travel to Solstice and report to Mid-Conjurer Murmel outside the city of Sunport. He'll know where to find Prince Azar and could hook you up with the rest of the Fellowship. Look, we could really use the help, and the Fellowship pays well.
Alright, we'll travel to
You
Solstice.
should be able to
Eventually. Thank you, Scordo the Knife. Nexus TK, sorry. I've never heard of that one. But, I'm sure it's cool. Did I pick? I think I got the mail. Also known as Nexus Kingdom of the Winds. Okay. Nexus... The Kingdom? Nexus... I don't know. I don't know where the T comes from, but... What's it about? Alright, that's good. That's good that those are done. That will literally be the end of our woodworking research. It's a big deal. One of your favorite games growing up was Black and White, where you play as a god and create a world. You missed that game? I can't think of what... there's so many, like, creation games that I can't think of the names of. There's a new creation game supposed to come out this year. I forget what it's called, too, but it looks really good. It's basically like what you said. You kind of sort of play as a god, and, you just, like, design the world. You can build buildings in it, and it's incredibly detailed. It looks like a lot of fun. Looks good. Look up a screenshot. Alright, Nexus Kingdom of the Winds. I'll look it up. Oh, yeah. I'll be honest. This looks a lot more organized than, like... than Arena does. I'm trying to find a picture that's not actually a video. This is very like But what am I trying to say? Very Pokemon-esque, very like, what's going on over there? Weird doodles or stuff hanging from the tree. Maybe it's an MMO. No way, dude. There was a phone game like this that was kind of sort of an MMO that came out like a couple of years ago. It was like one dude made it and just was like, he put microtransactions in it so he could get paid from it. But like, this kind of stuff is so cool. Like, I really appreciate these kind of things. 31 years old. Wait, how old did you say it was? 29 years old. Crazy, dude. We're in a different era. There's not the same games anymore, man.
Trouble telling elves.
But I'll be honest,
There are three around you now.
I like the older ones. I really do. I hate to say it because I feel like there's so many good games today, but I have so much appreciation for the older games like that.
Additionally, Eldenroot has
Nothing to sneeze at, baby. Let's go do that. That's, I think, the quest we left off on. You know, there's many creation games, but it's a certain unique and nostalgic feeling when playing the original pioneers of genres. I think you're totally right. You 100%, you're onto something. And you really don't get that same feeling anywhere else. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to do Arena so bad, because I was like, look, I have such an appreciation for the Elder Scrolls series. I love the world, I love the lore, and so many people also love it too, and there's so much that I don't know, and so much that I haven't done and seen. I was like, we need to go way back. We got to start from the beginning. And even though it's like really outdated, like it's not Elder Scrolls Online. It's something else. But it's really unique to be able to experience like the literally the foundation of what Elder Scrolls is. Where the story came from, how it started, and where they went from there. So I look forward to pushing through Arena and seeing what's next. Not so massive anymore. Yeah, not massive multiplayer online. Not so massive. Totally understandable. But the game is a player ran for a lot of it. So like the community basically like supports it and runs it. That's fantastic, dude. That's really cool.
Oh, a Khajiit. And a furry one too.
Racist.
Oh, delightful.
Racist.
I suppose you've come for a consultation. What is it? Unsightly tail warts? Poor eyesight? A dull coat, perhaps?
You're about to freaking consult these hands, baby. I'm here for the town alchemist.
You poor thing. Did one of her bizarre herbal cures cause worse pains than it cured? Honestly, I've given some thought to drafting a letter to the Archmage of the Guild. These herbalists and hedge witches really need some proper training.
So you don't practice any alchemy here?
Of course not! Wait, are you another one of these bark-munching herbal apologists? Telenra's teas are not remedies. I'm sure she makes a delicious marinade and some very fine scented lotions for the ladies, but I'd hardly call that medicine.
Wow, dude. Do you think there's any value in herbalism at all?
None. Now, see here, if she sent you to fish for an apology, she won't get it. I'll not apologize for the truth. Alchemy is a peasant science. Sheer quackery! Now go, and take this silly book with you. I'm sick of it cluttering up my shelf.
Alright. What a nice guy. You've heard of that game? The Nexus game? Yeah, that's something that I've never heard of, man. Dude, back in that time period of gaming, like, I wasn't really gaming. You know, I wasn't born until the later end of the 90s. And even then, it's like, you're just a friggin' baby. So, I didn't, like, genuinely get into playing games until I was, like, you know, maybe 5 or 6 years old when I started, gravitating towards Game Boy. And maybe, like, a little bit older. I want to say, like, between the ages of, like, 6 and 8 is where video games start to become a little bit more appealing to you as a child. At least back in that time period, because, like, you know, let's be honest, you didn't grow up with, like, a freaking touchscreen tablet that had, like, all of the immersion and like, bells and whistles and dopamine pumping things. Like, even if you did have video games back then, it wasn't, like, the same video games that are overly addictive now and stuff like that. So, I don't know, and then when I did start playing games as a toddler, as a youngin', it wasn't like PC games, you know, it wasn't necessarily even console games. It was Game Boy or like you know, as I got a little bit older, it was like DS. It wasn't until like later on in my childhood that I started getting into things like the first Xbox console, or like even the Wii in the later dates, or the GameCube, that kind of stuff. So, and I didn't have a PS1, I didn't have a PS2 growing up. I only got access to that when like my mom had like married my stepdad, and my stepbrother at the time, still my brother, he had like all the older consoles, but on the PlayStation side of things. So like diving into that kind of stuff was a lot of fun, and just, I don't know, man, like getting to go back in time now, loving video games as much as I did as a kid and as much as I do now, I feel like I've got such a stronger appreciation for games that are older of that way. So like, if I would have played Arena in 1994 as like a 10-year-old kid, I'd have been like, oh cool, whatever, I'm good, moving forward, and then just like went to play outside or something, because I wouldn't have cared. Like, I was just a kid, man. But I think now is such a perfect, dude, I don't know if I could have asked for it to be any better, because I really do have such a strong appreciation, and I'm so passionate about the games that it's, even though it's so rudimentary, it's so basic, they're so outdated, and they're just nothing even close to compared to what you get as far as like the technologically advanced games we have today. They're so much fun for me, and I don't know, I love it, dude. I really do. I have a good time with it, and I think that we're going to be diving into some older series too. I'm not saying we're going to play like every game that's 31 years old, but I think we're going to try to do some older stuff, and maybe like go back in time a little bit more often than we do right now. You know what I mean? I know we've been playing the Doom series on the members only streams, which, by the way, I will be making up for that. I know we missed the members only stream this past Friday, but considering the schedule change, I wasn't sure exactly what to do. I skipped a day. I think it's going to be Saturdays. I think we're going to have 2 separate streams on Saturdays. We're going to have the normal ESO stream for like a solid portion of the day, and then for a short period of time, we're going to have like 3 or 4 hours of like Doom members only, at least until the series moves on to something other than Doom. And that's going to be this Saturday, the next Saturday, and then that should fix the schedule. So I'll double up. Instead of every other Saturday, it'll still be every other Saturday, but we'll do 2 in a row to make up for this last one that I missed. So sorry about that if you guys were looking forward to it.
Let me guess. Menaldinian was an insufferable ass and refused to apologize.
Man, they like the word ass now. That's the second time I've heard them say that in Vvardenfell, and those are the first 2 cuss words I've heard in the entire game. But yes, pretty much. He told me to return this book to you.
Did he now?
Yes.
Well, he'll certainly regret that. I've cooked up a wonderful plan to teach him the value of alchemy, but I'll need your help.
Maybe.
What do you... Oh, come on now. I'm not going to poison him. I'm going to brew a potion that requires precise timing and freshly harvested lichen. The one that grows at the base of the Emperor Parasols. If you gather the lichen, I can focus on the instruments.
Alright, yeah, let's do it. Your mom used to have a Windows 98, and you remember the first time logging into the internet with AOL and dial-up? Might have been a newer system. Either way, dude. That's back in the day. Kids don't even know what AOL is. No, they don't have any idea. Or dial-up. Nobody knows. No, not a clue, man. This has been erased from history. When I was working as a drop tech, so I was doing like fiber optic installations. So I was splicing fiber and I was running like commercial lines for people's houses. I met an older fella. He might have been early 70s, late 60s. Probably early 70s. Really nice guy, dude. What a freaking nice guy. And he was having fiber optics installed at his house. And he was like, I don't even use the internet. Like, this is just for my kids when they come over. And I was like, well, freaking right, man. More power to you. Like, my grandparents don't give a flying tit about internet, dude. It's like, it doesn't matter who's at their house. They don't care at all. They're like, no, we don't need internet. But he was saying that he still had AOL. And this is like 2023, maybe 2024, somewhere out there. It might have been 2023. Man was still using AOL. He was like, yeah, I get my news like from AOL. He's like, I wake up in the morning, I pour myself a cup of coffee, I turn on the computer, and I load up like the news. That's what he does. He like pulls up the news on the website. It was basically like his form of the newspaper without leaving the house. He was like, and what I have to do is when I hit the button, when I open up the browser to open up the internet, it takes about 2.5, 3 hours, sometimes more, to load up a single page of the internet. And he was like, so I hit it, I load it, and I go mow the lawn, and then I come back, and the news is waiting for me. And I'm like, what in the world, dude? Like, that's crazy. You gotta wait 2.5, 3 hours to read a freaking newspaper. But I mean, now it's like instantaneous. Dude's got that fiber optic, but it's something different, man. It's not the same kind of technology we have today that we had back then. So Nexus is a Korean-based game, and example of the player ran, if you wanted to be a druid, you work alongside a real player for months, and then they cast a spell and you become a druid. What? Oh, wait, so how did you become how does like the first druid become? Because that's really cool. Like, you can't just pick a druid class is what you're saying, right? So like the spells, the skills, the knowledges of the game are passed down from one player to the next. Because that's really interesting. That's such a cool concept, but how do you keep something like that alive? Like, at what point does the knowledge of druids, like, kind of just spit out and become lost? That's really fascinating, dude. You played EverQuest 1 on AOL? I don't know that one either. Man, I wish I knew more about it so I could, like, share the conversation better, but I just don't have the knowledge, man. Wasn't EverQuest like one of the first MMOs? I can't believe MMOs were like genuinely a thing back then, man. That's crazy.
There you are. Any luck finding the lichen? We'll need to be quick if we want full potency.
Yes, lichen here.
Perfect. You may have noticed an odor. It's subtle, barely noticeable in fact, but once I add it to this wickweed and quama shell solvent, ha-ha! The perfect pheromone for the common house cat.
Nice. You want revenge? Your revenge on Menamaladulun is the house cats, huh?
Surprised? He may have squeezed a few secrets out of me, but he revealed some facts about himself along the way. For instance, he's violently allergic to cats. Sprinkle this potion over the plants near his door,
Me too, buddy.
And the results should be dramatic.
I just want to say that what she's doing is evil. This is wrong. For somebody that does have a severe allergic to cats, I completely understand how this man's about to feel. And I want to say that if you are out there trying to get revenge on somebody in your life, don't do that. Don't do this. Find a different way. Revenge is bad, but I'm just saying, don't do this. This is bad.
What's going on out here?
Nothing.
Snooping, eh? Why, I have half a mind to... Cats?
My freaking nose is so itchy. I've got allergies today, man. Oh, poor guy. It's pretty jacked up.
That was just... Did you see the look on his face? AM's mercy, he certainly wasn't exaggerating about that allergy. What a buffoon!
Do we just leave him in there then?
No. As much as I'd like to, you know the healer's oath. Do only moderate harm to those who cross you. I brewed a tea that should alleviate his symptoms. You can give it to him, but only if he agrees to come out and make a public apology.
And if he refuses?
Then leave him to his sniffles and blubbering. Patients tend to avoid healers covered in their own snot. He can settle this business with his reputation intact. All he needs to do is apologize.
I'm going to tell you right now that it's not just sniffles. Okay, lady. I think she underestimates what kind of a freaking miserable thing she just did. But here's your potion.
Oh, everything itches. Damnable cats!
You don't look great, dude.
Don't be coy. I know who's responsible for this travesty. I never should have told that scheming witch about my allergy. What a low-born, wretched, undignified prank.
She brewed a curative tea, but demands that you apologize.
Apologize? To a grubby Telvanni piss peddler? Are you deranged? I shall report her. I shall... Oh, what's the use? Fine, she wins. Ifre's bones. What a monstrous injustice. Oh, just give me that swill. This had better work.
I'll let her know that you've agreed. That poor guy. So the developers... Are we talking about EverQuest, or are we talking about the Nexus game? I think the developers work with the elders of each subclass. So if a new spell is asked for, the developers make it and start a subclass. You need 75 players registered, and then it can be made if it can, for example, if it can be made, right? So for example, the Shadow subclass fell apart, so the community made Rangers to take its place. Whoa, dude. So yeah, Nexus, I got you. I figured that's what we were back on. That's cool, man. You started the Hero of the Daggerfall achievement today? Nice, dude. Already completed Ebonheart Pact and Ultimary Dominion and paid attention to every quest this time around. Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm proud of you. That was my thing, man. I skipped every piece of dialogue. I never really paid any attention to the quests at all, or the characters, or the stories when I played through ESO the first time, so... It's good to take my time with it.
Did Menaldinian relent, or should we leave him to his wheezing?
He agreed.
Oh, thank goodness. Luring cats to his door every day would have gotten awfully tiresome. In the end, he'll see it's for the best. Collaboration always yields better results than competition. You and I are proof of that, right? Thanks again, Sarah.
You're welcome. Oftentimes you reach like side quests that are what we just experienced, and
Telenra,
they're kind of dumb.
I wish to thank you for that most efficacious tea.
It's kind of a dumb side quest, I'm not gonna lie, but there's a lot of them that are actually quite good. Like for example, the one that we had ran into like Saturday or Sunday or something, somewhere up here. It was basically like an adventure into a dwarven ruin, and in that dwarven ruin was basically an organ. It was like a tonal amplifier, I think is the word that they used to describe this thing. But it was a massive machine made by the dwarves that produced like very specific tones, and those tones could be used for different things. They could mine through walls by vibrating the air frequencies around it. Like they could introduce mind control. There was so much that they could do with the frequencies of these machines. And obviously there's no dwarvens. People's lefts to do the stuffs back down there. So some dude was just freaking messing with it, and he had killed a bunch of stuff and like with noise basically, and that was a really interesting quest, man. So we had to like go fix the machine and then go like basically replace the what are they called, the little underground, I forget what the creatures are called. They're all over the place. Are they Nixes? No, they're not Nixes. Whatever it is, that's Quarma that produces the eggs and stuff. So we had to go like get a new Quarma queen and stuff like that. So that was cool, dude. It's a good quest, man. EverQuest has become or has some crazy stories. Even, excuse me, in what made MMOs are it made what MMOs are today. So you're saying like it was like the pioneers of the MMOs, right? People used to kill themselves over that game. That's what? Early game, if you had died, you had 7 in real life days to get your stuff back. Wait, did people actually kill themselves over that game? 7 days in real life to get your stuff back that's rough. I don't thoroughly agree with mechanics like that, but I can see the engagement for sure.
I hope your confidence is merited. We have our hands full with the Dreg and the Ashlanders, so rescues are in short supply. Captain Artesia Naros is at the canton of Molagmar. She can tell you more than I. Safe
Okay.
travels.
Thanks. I guess. You didn't value your character as much when you skipped the questing parts. I agree. I think that it brings a lot to the table. It definitely shifts your perspective when you pay attention to the quest lines in this game. Even if they're a quest line of like some alchemist who's not respected, so she makes a potion that attracts cats to cause some allergy flare-ups, and then she makes some tea to fix it. Like, it's, even if it's something as simplistic as that, and kind of just silly. I think that was a silly quest. It does bring value to the character that you play, to the world that you're experiencing, to the people that you're interacting with, the NPCs. You notice NPCs will say positive dialogue about you or negative comments if you are cruel. Yeah. And the choices that you make in the game, although they are technically irrelevant, the choices you make don't actually change anything in the game, aside from like the occasional dialogue an NPC will say when you walk by. They'll be like, oh dude, you saved the people over there in that castle over there? Wow dude, that's so cool dude. Or they're like, how could you sacrifice all those souls? Like that kind of thing. So it adds depth to the game for sure, man.
If you're passing through, pay attention. I'll say this once. Pilgrims who ignore my warning vanish from the roads by morning. Whether you're from near or far, best keep your arse at Molag Mar.
Dude, that's an unusual way to issue a warning. This is a cool looking weapon. I like that color of the blade.
I find it best to put official notice in verse. Helps people remember, and reminds them buoyant armigers aren't ordinators. Nobody wants to talk to them, even other ordinators. Now, if I could get someone to tell me who's attacking these pilgrims.
Need someone to look into that, huh?
If you're offering. I suspect Ashlanders are behind the disappearances, but I
Everybody
don't have
thinks
the
that.
numbers to chase them off. If you can sneak into their camp near Molag Mar and find me proof of their involvement, I could finally get some reinforcements.
Alright.
Avoid killing the...
I'll do what I can do. That is crazy though, Rad. That's it's unfortunate that people took it that seriously, but it's also unfortunate they had to change the game because of that. But I don't know. What do you do, man? It happened. So you've heard in EverQuest if you die, sometimes you gotta start over. So basically like a hardcore type game. Or because people play like WoW in hardcore style. Like if they die, everything gets deleted entirely. So is it really that different? Although in EverQuest, I guess you don't really have a choice. I mean, you could play a different game, but I guess maybe back then they didn't have that many variety of games, so like, if there was a good one, you kind of just stuck to it. Rating was world rating, not an instance. There's a dragon called Sleeper. It has some crazy stories too. That does sound really freaking cool, dude. What a way to bring communities together too. I feel like in an MMO like ESO...
Oh, here's one.
They don't
Mortal,
necessarily
do
have
you have a
that
moment?
same level of community, like, connections. Like, there are community connections, and in Solstice, like, there's this wall of souls that is supposed to be an event that is world or server wide, that you're supposed to work together to bring down the wall of souls. Or for example, in Elsewhere, you got dragons that fly around, and there's basically like a massive gigantic world boss, but there's not like a massive amount of coordination from the community to make stuff like that happen properly. Like, I feel like the developers of ESO kind of supplement their world for those that play the game by themselves and make it reasonable. If you want to participate in these types of activities, you don't necessarily need to group up with 40 other players. It's tough, because I think it's important to cater to even those that like to play solo. But that kind of stuff is really cool to, essentially just bring the community together in a unique way. Long story short, it was not meant to be killed. Well, 500 people made it happen. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. It wasn't really hardcore. It's just death made it hard. Made it hardcore. Imagine dying in the bottom of a public dungeon. There were huge, and what? Now they've got. So the public dungeon itself was huge. You had to go back down there and recover your stuff. That does sound really... Because you'd have to, like, have stuff to go get your stuff. You can't just run through it naked. Right? That's tough, man. Yeah. Dropping your things in games. Stressful. That's a lot.
Let's see. Limbs, mouth, clothes. Yes, you're immortal. One moment. He had me remember something. Brave adventurer. The Infinite Archive requires your aid. Reality warps in its halls, and I, Master Malkest, cannot defend them alone.
What's the Infinite Archive? Why am I picking this quest up
Master
here?
Malkest thought you'd ask that. He said, it is a near infinite vault of books, letters, and records. It holds accounts of what has passed and what may never come to be. Currently, it is besieged by an enemy with unknown motives.
Okay. You don't know what your enemies want then.
Master Malkest didn't anticipate that question.
Nice.
Look, monsters of ink are jumping out of books and attacking us. Filer Mix is waiting in the Infinite Archive. Master Malkest gave him something for the mortal. Reward of some sort?
Alright.
I don't know what your plan is, but you may not want to be alone when you go in there. The archive isn't as friendly as it used to be. You'll have to take a portal too. This space right here isn't big enough to hold the Infinite.
This is interesting. I don't know why we're picking this quest up now, though. Use the portal to the archive. We're not going to do that right now, because we're kind of doing this. But we'll go back there eventually. You'd have to follow other players to the public dungeons, hope for the best, or pay a rogue or a necro to get your body. Wait, what? A rogue or a necro to get your body? Like a necro would resurrect your body and walk it back out or bring it back out? I'm assuming that's where you're going with that. And if that's the case, that's a freaking really interesting concept. Like your dead body controlled by a necro that holds all of your items and things and stuff and brings it, essentially like commands it, puppeteers it out of the dungeon. That's such an interesting concept, dude. Oh, we're about to get, like, yeah. Alright, you know what? I need the stolen items anyway. What? Thank you. I don't know. Why not? We gotta take all this stuff back to Somerset still. Eventually we'll complete that achievement. And we will be going back to Somerset to complete other achievements too, one day. But just not today. Or the next. If Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't take too long to release, Bethesda's been teasing and keeping postponing. I don't think that they need to rush it. I'm really... Dude, I know we've talked about this a handful of times, but I'm, like, really concerned about the integrity of Elder Scrolls 6. I'm afraid that Bethesda's gonna completely ruin it. So, I have no issue with them taking their time.
Much to answer for.
Like, the more time they take on it, the more that reinforces my confidence that it's not going to be the worst game we've ever seen. Because you know how it is nowadays. Like, most new games are trash to begin with. Most. Not all of them, but most. And not only that, but Bethesda's had some really fat, wet, flat stinkers, dude. Like, they've dropped... Look at Starfront. Star Battle Boy Girl Power... Or Star Power Girl Battlefront. Whatever it's called. That friggin' space adventure game is like one of the most shallow, empty, like, low effort developments of video games for a long time. It looked bad, dude. And I'm really afraid that level of quality is going to be what we see in Elder Scrolls 6. But I'm going to try to stay positive about it. I don't mind waiting for it to be better.
Assault my kin, desecrate our sacred rites. No Outlander would do these things for their own sake.
No.
The slaves of the false gods sent you, didn't they?
No.
Answer me.
No.
Lies upon lies! Does it give them pleasure to invent reasons to bring us harm? If they seek our deaths, they should just come for them! These ploys and ambushes are the acts of cowards!
Ambushes. You've been attacked before.
4 have vanished since we arrived to find your armatures building their garish shrine over our ancestral lands. Made prisoners of the false gods, or struck down by the likes of you, no doubt.
Well, I don't know about that. The Arbingers only sent me to find proof you attacked the Pilgrims. I just didn't avoid conflict.
Your reasons mean nothing to me. I would kill you if I did not think it would give the slaves of the false gods another excuse to do harm. What proof do you need? What will make them leave us be?
You've been making blood sacrifices. I need to know that the Pilgrims weren't among them.
Your pilgrims are not here. They litter the wild with their weakness. A beast's meal, nothing more. See for yourself. You will find what's left of their camps here, where I have marked your map.
Alright.
I will seek my own.
Alright. Yeah, my bad, buddy. I didn't mean to come in here and kill all your people like that. Kills more people. Alright, let me do a little something like this. Let's clean up a little bit if I can. Oh, the Necro could summon the body to them, or a rogue would sneak and do a /pull to pull your body back to the top. The Necro cost more because it needed items and 3 people to summon. That's crazy, dude. That's pretty neat. Man, it really doesn't go that hard in games nowadays, does it? What changed? Like, where did all that go? Where'd the love and the effort, where'd the passion go in game development, man? Like, it's still out there sometimes, but it's just not as common as it used to be. What is this? An unknown woodworking writ. Okay, that is going to stay where it is. We're going to keep that for now. So if you don't know, that this was actually a change that was made in the previous update, 46, I think. Writs that you get are now in a bundle. Like this form of unknown woodworking writ, so they stack properly and your inventory doesn't just fill up with writs. Because my bank has like friggin' 30 of them in it right now, and they're all individual spaces. This prevents it from being like 30 individual spaces. It's like woodworking is 1 stack, blacksmithing is another stack, jewelry is 1 stack. Like, so you only have like a certain amount of them that it takes up the inventory of, rather than like every single individual writ. So that's cool. That's kind of a big deal. You just don't know how much it's going to provide. Like, you don't know how valuable it will be or how many writs it'll give you until you open it properly. So, if you're in the business of selling them, you probably still want to open them. But, you know. You're eager to see how the lore will be built on it. I know. I can't wait either, dude. I'm excited for it too. I'm worried, you know? I would rather be patient and wait a long time to play Elder Scrolls 6 than rush it and hope that it comes out sooner for it to be like a miserable sack of trash. Because I'm thoroughly concerned. Bethesda's been pumping out some miserable sacks of trash lately. I'm dead. How am I not dead? It's tough, man. It's tough when there's a series as loved as Elder Scrolls. When you're, like, highly anticipating the game. How long's it been? 14 years? Well, no, not 14. When did Skyrim come out? ...2011. It's been 14 years. 14 years is a really long time to not have a game come out. When the entire community's... Okay, I'm stuck. The entire community is, like, really expecting it and hoping for it. And just the anticipation's, like, through the roof. It's tough. I don't know what Bethesda's been doing. I know that, I forget where I saw this. It was an interview, I think, with, like, Lex Friedman. I'm pretty sure. Which is odd, of all people, to be interviewing somebody from Bethesda. I think Todd Howard did an interview with Lex Friedman on a podcast. And I've tried so hard to find where I had watched this video. But it seems like it's been completely erased from the internet. Like, it does not exist anymore. I cannot find this clip. But I remember watching a clip of Lex Friedman and Todd Howard talking together about the future of Elder Scrolls. And essentially, Todd Howard had explained how, like, they became so financially successful, so rich, because of the success of their company, because they did so well and made, like, such banging games that people just soaked it up. They were like, yeah, we just partied for years. Like, we didn't do anything. We didn't develop games. We didn't, like, work. We didn't run the company. We just got drunk. We just partied. We hung out and had a good time, and we celebrated our success. And I get it, but he was also like, yeah, it was like 7 years. We did nothing for like 7 years. So, and then even after that, they didn't just like start working on Elder Scrolls 6. So it's not like Skyrim came out and then they were like, let's just start right now. It's not like it's 14 years in development. Like, I don't know for sure because it's been very quiet. Nobody's like said much at all, which is probably a good thing that they've not said anything. But the way I am interpreting this, the way I think that this is gone, is that Elder Scrolls 6 might be like 3 or 4 years at the very most into development. And I think that's still a generous estimation. So that's why I want to be patient with it. That's why I'm like, all right, don't rush it. Like, if you got to take 6 more years to make Elder Scrolls 6, I'm going to be upset, but I'm also going to be much happier when it comes out and it's actually good. So, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. It's a conversation that I could probably go around and around in circles on. But, like I said, I tried to find that clip over and over again. Like, because I remember seeing it in, like, a shorts feed or something. And I was like, what the heck is Lex Friedman talking to Todd Howard for? But apparently Lex is, like, a gamer. Like, he's into everything. So that would be why he was talking to it. But I just cannot find that clip, dude. No matter how deeply I searched, I just couldn't find it. So it looks like it was either like a fever dream that I had, or it was completely erased from the internet. So there's that. Story makes sense. Or sorry, makes you want to quit Elder Scrolls Online. Well, Bethesda's not in charge of development for Elder Scrolls Online. It's ZeniMax. Bethesda's the publisher for ESO. So you can't blame Bethesda for anything that happens in ZeniMax or in ESO, and you can't blame ESO for anything that happens in Bethesda. Bethesda's basically like the funding. They're like, hey, we got like money for you, and they give it to ZeniMax, and ZeniMax is like, all right, we're going to develop this, and they communicate back and forth. ZeniMax is like, here, we have some ideas. Bethesda, what do you think? And Bethesda's like, good or no. And they provide funding and time and allocate resources and stuff to departments for development. And they say, like, all right, here you go. Even though Elder Scrolls Online is Elder Scrolls and it is a Bethesda funded game, it's not technically Bethesda, but it's like I said, it could be a fever dream. I might have just been losing my mind, because I feel like I was losing my mind since I cannot find that clip at all anywhere ever, but I remember it vividly. So I don't know, maybe I am losing my mind, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. Alright, let's hold on to that other bounty.
You have investigated the camps. Do you still believe we are to blame?
There's a quest that took forever. It has had to be completed with a 45-man raid. 45 people's crazy, dude. Might have been 40, but whatever. Yeah, honestly, whatever, dude. 40, 45.
Now I'm not so sure. When I found the bloody tracks leading to this tomb, I heard wailing within. If one of your pilgrims disturbed the ancestor spirits, perhaps it is their wrath we have witnessed.
You didn't investigate further.
I will not invade an ancestor tomb. No Ashlander would be welcome in such a place. They are as unclean and treacherous as the Three. You may test if the trespass of Outlander feet is of less offense, but I will remain here.
I don't know. In terms of like Bethesda and what they've been doing, they obviously have been working on things, but I believe that was that conversation I was talking about with him and Lex, with Todd and Lex. I believe that was specifically in reference to the Elder Scrolls series. Like, they had other departments within Bethesda that were working on other games too, which is why you see games like the Fallout series and stuff continue to pump out new games and happen in the years in between where we are. Oh, okay. Disrespect. So I don't know. It could be true. It could be not true. Like I said, I don't want to like. Okay. I don't want to like put false information out there, especially since like I don't have any like genuine proof of that story. It's just word of mouth. It is from the internet, so take that for what you will. You gotta just remember that like the internet's full of garbage. It's full of crap. Not everything is true. A lot of stuff is fabricated, so it could totally be untrue. But if there's anybody that would say something like that, it might be Todd Howard. No offense, Todd.
Don't hurt me, please.
You got to keep in mind that Todd was one of the lead people that developed the story of Elder Scrolls. Like back in the day, back in the 90s, like he like led the charge of like, here, we're going to write Elder Scrolls. We're going to write the story. And like, he was like a major influence of something we love greatly. So as many people as hate him out there right now, as many times as he's done things where people were like just absolutely eviscerating him online, like, because you know his nickname is like known liar Todd Howard. Like there's a lot of bad stuff floating around on the internet about him, as far as like how he handles himself, how he condones himself as a leader and pushes through with the company and his position and his impact on development of future games. He did still make one of them, or essentially, not just him, obviously, like there's a lot of people involved in it, but he was one of the head developers when it comes to one of the greatest freaking series that we know today of the Elder Scrolls, man. So take that for what you will. Imagine you died and then had a family vacation. Yeah, right, that's what I was thinking, right? Like, life is not gonna just put itself on hold for your raids or your video games. So if you died at the bottom of a dungeon like that, lost all your stuff, and then, like, had to leave, they changed the losing your gear not long after some kind of lawsuit. People filed a lawsuit about it? Goodness!
You were followed, were you? The ruddy man hunts us.
People will sue anybody for
It
anything.
attacked our camp last night, tore poor Ilva's head off, right in front of me. I ran as fast as I could, and I hid in here.
Ruddy man? Who that? What that?
The spawn of Vivek and Molag Bal? The dread hunter wearing the ancient carapace? Have you read nothing of the sermons?
No.
It devoured all it saw until Vivek cast it down, twice over. But it lives again, you have to believe me.
I cannot see Vivek and Molag Bal making a baby together.
I know. When I saw it, I ran and never looked back. Wait. It lunged from the rocks above. The glass mine! We were near the glass mine when it descended on us.
Okay, follow me.
Watch
I'll
for
lead the way
traps.
out.
I
Yeah.
hoped they'd kill it, not us.
Yeah, watch out for the traps. Wait. In regards to the comment about Bethesda celebrating success, I think it's a common human condition that achieving great feats can throw a strong person off balance and take a detour in life. I don't even know if it's necessarily detour in life, dude. I think that, like, that's part of the path. That's part of the process. It is absolutely acceptable to celebrate. It is, like, there's no reason why, like, they don't deserve to celebrate. I wasn't saying that that was wrong. I'm just saying that, like, in an unbiased perspective, that is likely one of the reasons, if it's true, that is likely one of the reasons why we are waiting so long for something like Elder Scrolls 6. There's nothing wrong with celebration, dude. There's nothing wrong with, like, being proud and happy and taking time to just, like, have fun and relax after doing something so freaking dramatically insane as, like, develop Elder Scrolls, right? So 7 years, though, is a long time, bro. Or however long it was. Like I said, I don't remember the exact numbers or dates or anything like that, but man, 7 years is a long time. I think that's another button right there.
I
Like,
thought I'd never see the sky again.
I feel like I would.
Thank you.
I don't know. I'm not a, you know, a AAA game developer or anything, but if I took like
An Ashlander.
a week vacation,
sorry,
I
I
would
just want to
lose
go
my
home.
mind. I'd be freaking out. Like, even if I was like super successful and like really rich and like had nothing to worry about ever, and I could, like, I feel like if I just took like a week off of doing what I do, regardless of the context, it doesn't matter what you do, like, I would freak out, dude. I wouldn't be able to like sit on a lawn chair or like on a beach chair in front of the ocean. Like, I'd be sitting there thinking like, oh, there's so much I need to do. Like, there's so much work to be done now. It's like, I don't know. I think I'm a bit of a workaholic a little bit, but like, I wouldn't be able to do 7 years, dude. I wouldn't be able to. I'd be losing my mind. I'd like, if I was working for Bethesda at the time, I'd celebrate for like a day, and then I'd be like, all right, well, if you guys are gonna do that, like, I'm gonna go over there and let me know when you come back or something. Like, I'll be busy doing whatever it is that I'm busy doing. I can't just like screw up. So I don't know, but everybody's different. He said November 28th, 2022 was the interview. Rad, are you talking about the one with Lex and what's it, Todd? Episode 340. So it is out there. Dude, I don't know why I can't find the clip. But, alright, hold on. You know what? If I have time, I'm gonna write these numbers down. Episode 342. I'm gonna try to dive into that, because I want to listen to the full conversation. That's something I didn't do, too. Like, I want to preface this, because this is a big thing that like, if what I was saying is true, like, I'm not trying to, like, defame anybody. I'm not trying to, like, say that they're all, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just, I'm kind of gossiping. So take it all for a grain of salt. And I would like to listen to that episode. That is something. I didn't actually like watch the full episode of it. I just I had seen a clip online, and I had to like do a double take. I had to watch it again. I was like, "What the crap, dude?"
In
Shut up,
the
dude.
wailing was too pathetic to have been the angry dead. What did your sniveling pilgrim have to say for himself?
What are you singing, dude?
Only a fool would believe that. The mad gibberings of a scared scrib. We cannot go chasing myths. Did the weakling provide us nothing of value?
No,
What
not
you
really.
call glass mine, we know as an ancient dreg spawning grounds. The slaves of the false gods have disturbed these beasts. Now we all pay the price.
All right. Yeah.
Then we will see where this path takes us.
Let's
the
go.
tracks that brought me here will surely lead us to our quarry. The glass mine is not far.
But yeah, so I don't know. Just to kind of like capitalize on what I'm trying to say is like it is just kind of gossip what I'm trying to talk about. Like I didn't genuinely, I don't have any like proof to back it up. Like I said, it's just a clip, and I'm not trying to like say these things in a negative way. I'm not trying to say like this is the reason why it's all bad and stuff, and he should be crucified because of it. Like no, it's not that. I'm trying to be like open-minded about it, as much so as you can be, and just like kind of objective too, and say like, oh look, maybe this is one of the reasons why it's taken so long to see any progress in a game like this. So like, I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying like maybe that's a piece of information that is to be considered. Oh, was that Baby Got Back, dude? Sir Mix-a-Lot, dude. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Baby Got Back. Speaking from a business perspective, the different teams that develop games need strong ideas, and not saying that some people can't develop different games, but the lore and you panics should be new. Panics? What? There might be a typo in there.
Was that the creature the pilgrims fear?
Oh, mechanics.
This ruddy man
The
of
lore and
legend.
mechanics should be new.
His skulking vermin inflated by the lies of a false god. Nothing more.
That looked like no drag that I've ever seen.
Dreg are not usually cunning. This much is true. Now that it knows we hunt it, this creature may wait us out in its lair.
Okay, with what we know, we might convince the Armigers to clear out the mines sooner than planned.
They will not trust the word of an Ashlander, and we know the creature easily eludes them. You must hunt it. You must kill it.
All right.
Who else, Outlander? The slaves of the false gods will never allow me to trespass their domain, and the task is beyond them. This falls to you, or no one.
All right. Sure.
If this creature is...
So... I don't even know if it's like just a business perspective that brings upon that concept. Like, there needs to, from a business perspective, ideally, you give the consumers what they want, right? That could mean a lot of different things, but I think generally, at least in video game terms, in a lot of many things in life, right? Not just developing video games, but in many, many things. You need innovation and you need creativity, and you can't have like stagnation when it comes to a series. That's why like Assassin's Creed is dying so hard. That's why everybody is so upset with Bethesda or Ubisoft right now. Sorry, not Bethesda, but it's because they just keep producing the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over, and it's been years of just the exact same thing. Dang, Mafio, congratulations, dude. You got your braces off this morning? That's awesome, man. I bet that hurts. That feels weird. That's fantastic, though, man. Well done. But yes, ideally, the next series of the next game in the Elder Scrolls series should be incredibly brand new. There should be a lot of creativity behind it. There should be so much like nuance. There should be so much like mechanically, story wise, writing wise, like everything should be improved upon from the previous game. Given that Skyrim is 14 years old now, it really shouldn't be that difficult to improve upon the basics. The basics being like UI, right? Mechanics, how the game flows and moves, and how your character involves itself with other NPCs, how the combat is, how spells and stuff are learned and provided and initiated and produced through your freaking fingertips. Like there's so much that should reasonably not be that difficult to capitalize on as far as like creativity and improvement goes. With that being said, the lore of Elder Scrolls is so deep and so vast and so complicated that there's a lot of different paths they could take. Dude, they could genuinely, because the world of Elder Scrolls is literally a fantasy world. It is a whole world. There's everything that you could ever imagine in life plus fantasy on top of it, right? So like you're talking magic, you're talking different races, you're talking freaking literally anything. So they could take it in any direction they wanted to. And being that open-ended could be one of two things, or it could be both. It could make it more difficult to be creative and innovative when it comes to the development of the story, or it could make it easier because it is so open-ended. So, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I'd love to see, and I know that like massive fans of Elder Scrolls in general, not ESO, would love to see so many things themselves too, and I think that you're never going to satisfy everybody. There's going to be a lot of people that are pissed off and disappointed in it, no matter how good it is. But regardless, you're right. There needs to be steps forward. You can't just like repeat the exact same game over.
I was beginning to think the Ashlanders got you as well. Were you able to find evidence that they've been preying on the pilgrims? I can't spare a moment from these dreg as it is.
It's not Ashlanders. A cunning dreg is killing your piglins. They call it the Ruddy Man.
Is that your idea of a sick joke?
No, fool.
We have more sense of humor than the Ordinators, Outlander, but blasphemy is a line you best not cross. The Ruddy Man is an evil dealt with long ago, by Vivek himself. Where did you even get such an idea?
A lone survivor. I've seen the creature, and so did one of yours. Show the Armiger helmet.
One of... gods! That's a smell for the ages. So this is what became of Sidra. I hope she gave a good account of herself. Suppose I entertain this theory. What am I supposed to tell the temple? Send Lord Vivek?
All I know is that it's hiding in the glass mine, and I'm gonna go kill it.
Then understand this. Whatever you find down there, it isn't the Ruddy Man. Vivek killed the Ruddy Man. There are still miners unaccounted for. Do what you can for anyone still alive down there. Vivek guide you to great glories.
Thanks, Chica.
What
Let's
now?
go.
An Ashlander? Keep your distance, understand?
Peace, armatures.
They had a machine that 3D scanned your teeth? That's crazy.
If you wish to hear
I thought they would use like a mold. Like they'd like
Don't
fill your
let your
mouth with
guard
like
down.
a foam substance that hardens. And then they pull it out and use that as like the mold for your teeth. That's interesting though.
The wise women cannot say if your quarry is what you think, but they have shared their knowledge of Dreg with me. They offer a mixture to lure the creature out. Spill this in the Ruddy Man's den, and it will show itself.
Cool. Just like that, the monster's gonna face me.
It works on the Dreg. That is all I can say. Be wary in its lair. If that thing took my kin, then it is more dangerous than it leads on.
Understood.
You have proven yourself capable.
Thanks, buddy. Alright. I'm telling you right now from my experience of the overworld that this boss is not going to be scary. It's going to be a pushover. It'll be way too easy. It's going to die in a moment. I'll only have to use like 2 abilities. This is a cool cave. I like the green crystals. This would be, I guess, the buoyant arbinger materials that they use. But this is going to be one of those moments where the quest has been super dramatic and it's built up to this one moment and it's got a lot of tension behind it and it's an interesting quest, but the boss fight does not carry the weight that the quest and dialogue and writing itself carries. It's going to be disappointing. This is one of my arguments for like why the overworld should be changed, or why there should be a veteran version of the overworld.
Free. I thought these wretched creatures would devour me.
Wait, I missed something. I missed a bunch of somethings. Did I? I think so. No, I think we have to go around. Whoop. I thought we had to go around. Yeah, we're going the whole way around. I like this cave, man. Something about these crystals is like super satisfying to look at.
I'm alive. I'm alive. Thank you.
Oop. That's our boss. This needs to be like a boss like that should be what the current world bosses are. At least, at the very least, it needs to be like that. And I don't think it should be like that for everybody. I think that you should have an option to push your overworld to be in that state of difficulty. Like, it shouldn't just be like forced upon you. Like, if you want to play the game on a lower, like the current overworld difficulty, and you just want to chill out and relax, and you're not really mechanically involved in the game, you don't want to like work on your build, you just want to kill stuff and like experience the story, there's no reason why you should not be able to do that. Like, absolutely, that should be an option for everybody. But giving people that are mechanically involved and want to work on their build and have builds that have like 140,000 DPS or something like that, there's no reason why they should like not be provided some sort of challenge. It's too easy, man, and it takes a lot of the wind out from underneath a quest like this. Like, the quest is interesting. It's quite good, and it's very it's well attached to the world that we're in, Vvardenfell. Vvardenfell's got the Ashlanders. The Ashlanders are basically like Indians, kind of like Native American Indians, and they're just out there in the middle of nowhere. They're just living off the land. They don't bother with technology. Their civilizations are small. They have little camps. They hunt. They grow crops. They provide for themselves, and they're looked down upon by everybody. Everybody else that's like in these bigger towns, these civilizations, they're really prejudiced. they're treated like trash is what they are, and they're blamed for everything. And we investigated a lot of deaths that were happening, and it turns out that there's this like freaking super predator out there that is murdering everybody. And the Ashlanders understand how to deal with this predator, and they're not suffering like at the stake of the predator because of their understanding of the land, the animals, the creatures that live here, and how to handle that. Whereas like other little people like the Boy and Armigers are a little bit soft. Maybe they're just hanging out, they're drinking a little too much friggin' mead, and they're getting like friggin' sauced by these dregs. And we go in there, we hunt it down, and the thing dies in like one ability. That's so boring. It takes so much out from underneath of it because it really builds up well. It's a good quest. I'm begging you, Bethesda or ZeniMax, dude, give me a veteran version of the overworld. You're gonna call it a night? No worries, Ernesto. Dude, thank you very much. You don't need to look into the Todd Howard interview, but I think Rad said, wait, what was it, Rad? Yeah, Rad said it was, if you're interested in checking it out, and actually learning more about it, and rather than just like hearing me gossip about it. I believe he said it was episode 342 of Lex Friedman's podcast. So I'm sure it is on YouTube. If it's not, it might be on Spotify. Regardless, like, by all means, check it out. But yeah, man, thank you for hanging out, man. Good night to you. Must have heard the news. 2 things have been confirmed. They are, 1, they are working on crossplay. 2, they are working on making the overworld hard, but no details on it. I know. I did hear about it. I had heard about it, but I am gonna continue to beg about it until it happens. But yeah, I heard crossplay is gonna be a thing. They don't really have a time frame from my understanding, but they are like heavily focused on what crossplay is going to be. So that's cool, you know, dude. And not only that, but I think that's a really big deal for the integrity of the game too. The fact that you can queue as a DD, generally, if you queue for a 4-man dungeon as a DD, it might take you 3 or 4 hours to get into a dungeon, depending on what, if you're looking for a specific dungeon, for example. You'll never find a queue, because you need to wait for another tank and a healer and a DD, and there's so few people that want to play tanks and healers. But if they merge consoles and PCs together, that's essentially going to double the population of the queues. For Battlegrounds, for Cyrodiil, for the Imperial City, for 4-man dungeons, even for things like the Group Finder, which is literally always empty. By the way, look at this, trials. Oh, well, 1 person, sorry. My bad. I lied to you. It's not empty right now. Okay, there's a couple trials going on. Very rarely do I ever see trials in here for the Group Finder. Normal or veteran. You hate the idea of a healer in the overworld. Yeah, but what if you need a... What if overworld was group-oriented? You know? What? So, I want... Alright, hear me out. I know this is asking a lot, but I want 3 difficulties for everything. I want the normal difficulty, as is now, for everything. I want the veteran difficulty implemented into every aspect of the game, not just dungeons. I want it for the overworld too. And then I want like an Adric difficulty or a Dragonborn difficulty or whatever you want to call it. I want something that goes a step farther than veteran and says like, hey, this is for y'all out there that are gaming, like that are hitting 300,000 DPS, people that have like 240,000 overshield on their tanks, that kind of stuff. And I want it implemented into the overworld too, and I want the overworld to have a group function where it's like you can play by yourself if you want to, but you're not going to be able to do it. You need a 4-man group with a tank, a healer, and a 2 DDs. Something like that would be so cool, and it would definitely like incentivize a lot more group-oriented activities, and you would see a lot less people out there doing what I'm doing and just like running around questing by themselves for hours a day.
That's it then? You've dealt with
They'll
whatever
just
was
make you do less
attacking our
damage.
pilgrims.
Don't say that! Don't say that! Why would you say that?
When I accepted your offer of assistance,
No.
I didn't expect you to be this
Bad
thorough.
rat. Bad.
Your bravery in descending into that dragon-infested mine alone and slaying whatever it was that was killing the pilgrims is commendable.
What do you think it was? If not the Bloody Man.
The ruddy man from the sermons took the act of a god to fell, so forgive me if I don't seem convinced your beast was him. No one knows where the original carapace came from. Perhaps there were other, lesser objects cut from the same cloth.
You're suggesting this could happen again.
Not a pleasing thought, but it's an explanation I can accept. We can only hope the world never sees the like of the true ruddy man again. It's gone for now, and we've avoided a feud with the Ashlanders. So let's try to look on the bright side.
Pretty sure Mafio's nickname in high school was the Ruddy Man.
Your stench is proof enough of your deeds. Was this ruddy man a worthy foe?
No. No, it wasn't.
You have my respect, Outlander. Our fallen warriors are avenged. Tell your armigers that we will soon depart. May we never cross paths again.
Where are you gonna go now?
Home. The ritual of sacrifice is almost complete, and the Daedra lords you so foolishly ignore will, we hope, spare us their wrath for another decade. We will hope they turn their dire gaze upon Molag Ma before we return again.
Alright, cool. Good quest. That was a good quest, man. I like, see that was way cooler than the cat lady. Like, way cooler. Way cooler. Man, that cat lady's quest sucked compared to that. They can't all be zingers, though.
Halt, Fetcher!
I literally have 78 bounty.
Halt! I think we should. It appears you're not even worth my time. Good.
No, Rat, on the sake of, or on the topic of your whole, like, making the players deal less damage, I know you were joking. But I'm a pretty big advocate for not nerfing the players. And, like, rather than nerfing the players, introduce more mechanically inclined and difficult content into the game to bring the game to the players rather than the players to the game. Like, nerfing the players is the lazy approach. And like I said, I know you were joking, so it's all good. But don't ever say something like that again. How dare you?
To the side.
My patience now is at its end. Your flesh,
Wow.
your heart, your soul I'll rend.
I can't move. This is a good boss. Not like super scary, but it was a good boss. Bam, baby, give me that pet. Give me that pet. Let me pet that dog. Hard content to be worth doing, or hard content to be worth doing. I agree. There needs to be incentive for it too. On the topic of higher difficulties, if they implement like an additional difficulty to the overworld, there needs to be a reason for it. Or a reason to do it, rather. There's got to be some form of incentive. It can't be broken. Obviously, it's got to be reasonably balanced. But I think, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways they could do it. And if they introduce a higher difficulty, like Dragonborn or Adric difficulty or something like that, I think that, it would be a really cool thing to introduce like a higher tier of armor and weapons, higher than gold, and you could even like bring it to the mythic or the mythic value. So like you could bring your gear and weapons to mythic. I think that would be really cool, and then that would allow like a little bit more balancing to bring players up to an even higher difficulty, and not only that, but give you a reason to do it. So, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things they could do, and I could definitely, like, come up with more details about that, but I feel like that's a pretty general concept that is worth, like, thinking about. It's worth looking into. I'd love to see that kind of stuff happen, dude. But, Rad, I don't even know if it's necessarily, like, let people like yourself dream about getting it and never actually achieve that. Because I think it's completely achievable by anybody. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to do it, but I don't think that I'd say it's like impossible. It's not out of your reach, is I guess what I'm getting at. It's not out of anybody's reach. Especially if they merge like consoles and PC together. If they do merge, whoa, check that bad boy out. If they merge consoles and PC together, the game and the servers will become a lot more saturated with players, and things like matchmaking will be much easier to get into. Guilds will be much more just like full, like guilds will be just like loaded with players, and I don't know how they're gonna do that actually. Getting guilds together is gonna be tough, but regardless, I think that's a good thing for the game, and I think it'll bring a lot of people that maybe are not really heavily involved in the higher level content, the more end game style content. It'll give them an easier time getting into that kind of content with more players involved. And as long as you're willing to like interact with the community, right? Like if you get involved with guilds or if you get involved with like people, because a lot of guilds will have like Discord channels and stuff. It's a pretty easy way to communicate and get in touch with people that are doing like different types of content, especially higher level stuff. It makes it a lot easier. Like there's groups of people out there that will schedule like a day and say, hey, we're going to run around, and like say you're not capable of doing the world bosses, like say your gear or your skill level or your understanding of the game's just not there. Say you just can't do world bosses. You can get in with a group, and the group will run around and do all these events like on a scheduled day or something. And all you have to do is like say, hey, I want in on this, and that kind of stuff is going to become a lot more accessible and a lot easier to handle and get with than it ever has been with something like crossplay. Sapperson, what's up, man? Hello. And I think same with trials. Trials are going to be a lot easier to fill. Trials are going to become a lot more common, and I think it's I think crossplay is a good thing. Not only is it going to be like just good because everybody wants crossplay. Like, man, everybody wants crossplay. Tell me one person that's like, no, crossplay is a bad idea. It's like, nah, dude, it's good in general, and I think it's really gonna help supplement the community, man. Especially with a game that's this old. You know, like a game that's 11 years old. A lot of people come and go. A lot of people never come back. A lot of people do come back. It's just kind of all over the place, and the game goes through ebbs and flows and ups and downs, and the population of the game kind of goes through these same like little roller coaster rides of like ups and downs and stuff like that. So yeah, crossplay is a good thing, man. It's a big deal. I'm surprised they hadn't worked on it sooner, but I'm glad that they're doing it. Regardless, right? Hope you've been doing good. Dude, I'm good. Thank you, man. Doing good, man. I hope you're doing well too. Just busy, honestly. I understand. There's nothing wrong with being busy, man. I feel like being busy is a good thing. But I'm glad you're doing good. That's good to hear. I do wish they'd fix this in the animation, though. Like, it's a simple little thing, and it doesn't really affect the game at all, but not seeing the animation for that kind of hurts my feelings. This is awkward. I didn't realize I'd still be trespassing here. I thought these guys were cool with me now. You definitely agree crossplay is a good step in the right direction? Yeah, 100%, dude. You always get sad when you can't play with people on PC. I think that's part of it. The part of it is like just not being able to play with people. But I think that okay, so for example, if you are ZeniMax or Bethesda or whoever's running the company, and you're like, man, why is everybody so excited for crossplay? Why does everybody want crossplay? I don't care about crossplay. It's like, well, what if your game is like struggling because of player base and things of that nature? Like, you do care about crossplay, right? merging those communities and those populations together is really healthy for the integrity of the game, not just for the players themselves, but for the company too. Helps keep the game afloat. Helps increase engagement, things like that. There was a concept from an older MMO, if you kill a boss, you would get a wall mount of the boss to put in a guild hall that would give you a buff. Oh, I need to get my dude out. The buff would make the fight easier the next time. Alright. I mean, that's cool. I don't know if there's anything quite like that in ESO. But, to be honest, I find myself realizing that boss fights are easier anyway. Like, after you beat a dungeon, like, say you go through, like, a dungeon, a 4-man dungeon on normal mode, and you're like, oh man, that was kind of tough, like, but we made it, good job. And you go into veteran, and you're like, wow, this is definitely more challenging. And then you learn the mechanics, and you might struggle, but you get through it. And say you do the hard mode, and the hard mode is a struggle bus, and you're having a really difficult time getting through the hard mode. But once you do it, once you understand the mechanics, the dungeon does become easy, because, like, that knowledge helps bump you forward. You don't necessarily need a buff in a game like ESO. It's just like sharing that knowledge with other people, right? That's important. Especially for upcoming updates if they're more server-based than platform. Yeah, so are you... I'm assuming you're talking about that one event that's happening in Solstice right now. I think PvP is going to benefit from, like, cross-platform stuff a lot. Oops. Oh, did I miss a fish? I couldn't tell, dude. Like... Cyrodiil and the Imperial City are dead. Empty. And I'd say that Battlegrounds are pretty empty too. Like, if you queue for a Battleground, you're not going to have, like, that difficult of a time getting into one. You will get one. And you will find people in the Imperial City. And you will find people in Cyrodiil. But they are not nearly as saturated with players like it used to be when it was first coming out. Or, like, years ago, right? When the player base was higher. So... yeah, I can't see any bad things coming from crossplay. Aside from, like, the potential, like, bugs and glitches and issues with the integrity of the game. But that kind of stuff can be refined over time if it does bring bugs and glitches, right? I think that, like, long-term, crossplay is incredibly valuable. Not just for the player base, but for the company as well that runs the game. Yeah, especially Battlegrounds. Dude, I'm telling you right now, I hate Battlegrounds the way they are. I would love to see, like, more incentive for, like, objectives. Like, real, actual incentive for objectives. If you participate in objectives and you earn more medals and stuff like that in-game and you have a higher score and you end up on the top of the leaderboards, you need to be incentivized to push for that leaderboard. Like, there needs to be, like, more transmute crystals given out. There needs to be, like, more, like, literally anything, something that provides incentive to participate in objectives. And not only that, but it would be, it'd be nice if the game modes weren't balled up into one queue. I know one of the reasons why they have all of the different game modes and Battlegrounds bunched together, and when you queue, you just get a random one that it pushes you into. I know they do that for a reason. There's not nearly enough people playing Battlegrounds to help fill all the different game mode queues, so they just mash it together, and they're like, alright, anybody playing Battlegrounds, you get what you get. Sorry about your luck. Like, I would love to see the ability to choose, but I don't know if they have the ability to let you choose which game mode you play. Like, some people really like Team Deathmatch, and that's all they want to play. I get it, dude. I don't like Team Deathmatch myself, but I get it. Play your game mode, man. And some people like Capture the Relic more. Some people like Domination more. Like, that's just how it is. People get favorites. And it'd be cool to be able to have that option to say, like, alright, I much prefer Domination. I'm just going to queue for Domination. But that's a stretch. Even with crossplay, I don't know if the Battlegrounds are going to be saturated enough. But if they improve the quality of the game mode
you
itself and Battlegrounds in general, they offered more incentive to do objectives, and they gave better loot, and they maybe like
to restore the forgotten prince.
added some
I'll let our friend
stuff to
explain.
the maps into the game modes and all that. I think maybe that would help a lot. But how will they deal with guild traders, or would they have to go to some kind of auction house? What crossplay guild traders? Well, guild traders, from my understanding, are the exact same on console as they are on PC. So like, I think that's one of the more complicated aspects of making crossplay like work for a game like ESO, is that right now, if you're in a guild on console, that guild is not available on PC. It's not the same guild, even if it's got the same name. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but they're going to have to be able to merge compatibility of all the guilds together. With that being said, if they just they can't just wipe guilds off the face of the earth. Like, one way I could see them handling it, which I don't think that this is the answer, but if they just did a hard reset on guilds, they just said, all right, we're gonna remove all the guilds, everybody that's in a guild, gone, removed, you got to start over. And then they merge the servers together, and then they introduce guilds again and say, hey, all right, you got to just make your guild again. And that's a bad idea. I can see that being a way that it would be handled, but I just don't think that's the answer. That's gonna frustrate a lot of people and turn a lot of people off. Guild traders, I think the only difference between PC and console is some add-ons, like mods for the game. So they're trying to put mods and add-ons on console, and console's gonna have access to less add-ons than PC will, inevitably, but they're gonna still have access to mods and add-ons. Don't guilds have to buy a spot to put their guild trader to sell in that location? Yes, they do. They do. It's basically like an auction. So, okay, so my understanding, I've never done this myself, I've never ran a guild, but from my understanding, if you want to go to Grotwood is one of the most popular guild traders in the server, of both servers, if not the most popular. PC is a little bit different because there's easy access to something like TTC, and TTC is going to end up being converted into console as well. If they merge the servers together, TTC will be available for everything now. But essentially, there's there's more guild traders here than I thought there'd be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 of these bad boys. So essentially what you do as a guild leader is you say, I want access to this one, and you put your money in a bucket, and you participate in an auction against other guilds in competition for these guild traders. So I don't know if it's a specific guild trader. I think the way it works is you go to just say Grotwood, and you fight for any of the traders there, and you just chuck a bunch of gold in the pot, and whoever has the most gold in the pot at the end of the week, whoever's willing to donate that much gold, gets access to that guild trader. And there's a balance to it, oftentimes trading oriented guilds will charge 10, 15, 20, 30, 40k a week or something from their participants to help fund that kind of stuff. So that the idea that you as a player getting into a trading guild is that you pay weekly or bi-weekly or whatever it is that your guild wants for access to the guild, and you make your money back by selling stuff in the guild trader. It's kind of a little bit of a risk, because you never know if you're going to make it back or not, and if you're not really involved in it, then you're not going to be guaranteed to make your moolah. But I believe that's how it works. I don't know. I'm sure there's more details in it than that. Like I said, I've never done it myself, but I don't know how they're going to do it, dude. I really don't. Because there can be guilds with the same names. I know that there's guilds that have both console and PC and NA and EU servers, and they are the same guild on each console in each server. I don't know.
I finally resolved to see the world beyond Necrom. With some assistance from Laramil, of course. Then Hermaeus Mora called her away again. I'm glad to see you're still helping her, friend. Did I hear correctly? Torvasad has returned?
He plans to use relics of Azura, Boethia, and Mavala to locate Princess Athelia.
What I know about Daedric princes and relics, I learned at Laramil's side. If she doesn't know what it means, I can't add much more. The good Daedra haven't been widely worshipped in Morrowind for ages. How do you think they're involved?
The good Daedra. Torvasad said that they conspired with Hermaeus Mora against Prince Athelia.
I've never heard any such story, but Holomeon Monastery is just north of here. The monks there preserve the old Velothi traditions. If we're dealing with ancient myths about the good Daedra, they might be able to help.
Alright, let's go.
Go on ahead.
I'll meet you there. One way they might merge guilds together for crossplay is like, what if, I think there's like access to 500 or something like that. You can have like 500 players in your guild or whatever the cap is. If they double the cap for players in a guild and they say, hey, look, if you have, like, say for example, the same name as another guild on a different server, or maybe you have, like, maybe you run a guild on both of them. Is it 500? All right, so maybe they, like, double it to 1,000, right? So you can have 1,000 players, and they give the players the option, the people that run the guilds, the option to, essentially mush the guilds together. They say, like, hey, oh, this is your guild on both servers? Like, if you agree, if you want to, you can combine them. If not, maybe one of you has to change your name or something like that. Because I don't think you can have two guilds with the same name. Whatever the answer is, there's going to be like a mess in the market for a while. Like,
easy.
Inevitably, it'll just balance itself out like any other economy. But I do think that it's going to be a rough transition for guild traders. Because pricing is vastly different from PC to consoles. Like, the amount of money that they charge for items, or sorry, for items themselves, for access to guild traders, everything that has a value in ESO is different from one server to the next. From EU to NA, the prices are different. They're probably relatively close to the same, but I know that console and PC pricing is more different than,
we could
like,
knock
PC to
We
NA,
have
or sorry,
no
EU to
time
NA.
for this. I shall open a portal.
No need for that.
So, like,
The Golden Eye foretold.
mushing all that together, converging all the items
The
that
Abbot.
exist,
Forgive our intrusion and listen to what our friend has to
it
say.
might be rough. It's cutthroat on Xbox. Yeah, it's the same on PlayStation. It's there's a lot of scams. It's a lot easier to scam people on console right now than it is on PC, because like the TTC is a big deal on PC and it makes it a lot easier to understand what's what and what things have what value. Console, it's a little bit more questionable. If you don't do your research and if you don't understand it, if you're not involved in it, people will steal from you instantaneously. They will not hesitate. So you got to be careful. With that being said, hear me out here. For example, I have two etheric ciphers. Let's use the etheric cipher as an example here. What gives Fractured Gamer? Hello, sir. Good morning to you. What gives etheric ciphers their value is the rarity of them, the amount of them that are in the economy floating around, and how demanding they are. Like, how much use are you as a player going to get out of using this etheric cipher? It is incredibly rare. It's an unbelievably uncommon item, which means it's quite valuable in that sense. Sigic Ambrosia is not that valuable. It is. It's an XP boost. Sigic Ambrosia is a consumable XP boost. So basically, this is what is, I think during the event that was happening recently, there was a bit of an influx of people gaining etheric ciphers because of the way the event was providing loot. So the price dropped, and it was worth like around 700,000 to 800,000 gold, I think. I think outside of events, Normally they're worth about 4 to 5 million, which is a lot of gold, right? There are, all right, I'm just spitting out random numbers. Say there's 100 etheric ciphers floating around on the PC servers. That's just how many are in cycle. That's how many are being traded back and forth and exist. And sometimes people consume them, making less. Sometimes people find them, making them more. Or, you know, quantity of the etheric ciphers in the loot pool. So there's like a certain value that is assigned to that item by the community based on all those factors. With that being said, if they mush PC and consoles together, I don't want to say it's going to double because it's going to be subjective. Every item's different. But etheric ciphers, instead of there being 100 in access to the community, there's going to be like 200, right? There'd be 200 floating around. Say there's 10 million players on each server, or, you know, whatever the number actually is. They mush the players together. There's going to be 20 million players. So theoretically, the prices are going to stay somewhere around the same, but there will be this like transition period of like a massive influx of items coming from each side and mushing together, essentially doubling the access to all the stuff that's in the loot pools, but with the players doubling too, essentially doubling. It'll just be a bit rickety. Like it'll be all over the place. A lot of pricing is going to be like a lot cheaper than it normally is. A lot of pricing is going to be a lot more expensive than it normally is. But it'll balance itself out. Eventually people will just like fall back into essentially what I would assume is going to be a very similar economy that they have now in the games. And as far as like access to items, I don't know, man. Like, because items on console are more expensive than they are on PC. PC is cheap as crap, bro. I don't know what it is. Like, if you were to buy an etheric cipher on console, you'd be paying like 7 million gold for it. But if you buy it on PC, it's like 4 million gold.
Greetings, Jack.
I don't know why that is.
The Golden Eye, Hermaeus Mora himself, spoke to me in a dream. He told me you were coming here. I am Andor Indoril. It is my honor to serve as abbot and historian of this monastery.
Hermaeus Mora speaks to you then?
Only this once, which is why I thought it best to listen. So long as you promise not to harm any monks nor remove any tomes without permission, you may explore the monastery freely. What exactly do you seek here?
Hold on, we'll continue this guy's dialogue here in a second. Red, you make a good point too with names. Names of characters, that's a thing too. I don't know how they're going to do it, dude. They could add a system for guilds and names of characters that is similar to what I've seen in other game concepts. Like, you have your name, like, okay, so like, you have like your character's name, but then you have your account's name. And your account's name has like, you know, #2349 or something after that. Whatever the combination of numbers is, but it essentially like uniquely identifies you as a player with that like numbers digit after it. It's like a freaking, it's a way to like separate you from every other character. So like they could allow you to have the same name technically, just as long as you're like able to be truly identified differently. So that's a feature they could do for that, and it would probably work for guilds too, to be honest. And Rat, I thought that the reason why PC is cheaper is because of bots. That was my initial assumption, and obviously PC has a lot more access to things like bots, but from my experience playing on PlayStation, there are significantly more bots on PlayStation than there are on PC. I've seen like maybe 3 or 4 bots that I was confident that I would look at that player and be like, that is clearly a bot, and they are farming like a material or something to have access to, like, you know, the material to sell it or whatever they're doing with it. I thought that would be the case, that PC would be way more saturated with bots, but it's not, dude. I freaking hardly ever, if ever, see bots on PC that I'm sure are bots. I'm sure they're out there and I just don't notice them, but I'd say 99% of the time, it's not a bot. And with that being said, on console, they were everywhere, dude. Constantly. There were like parts of the world that you'd know. You'd be positive. There would be like 40 players synced up, smushed on top of each other. Players, they're bots. And they would like be walking identically in the same path, just like farming. And they do that because like you can't just like reach into that pile of players and like select one and ban one. Like you'll never ban them all. Actually, Pirate Software has a really good concept about like finding ways to ban bots. It's like instead of implementing like an individual ban system where it's like, hey, report this player if they're a bot or whatever. Said like instead of doing that, he just like puts a rock in front of them because they have a path that they walk and they move and they they just like farm and stuff. And Pirate Software is like in development. If you want to catch bots like that, you take a rock and you put it in their path, and then you come in once a day or once a month or once a week, and you just like go to that rock and you see like a bunch of players just like bumped up against it and like trying to walk past it, and they can't because they're designated as a bot to walk in that path, but because there's a rock there now they can't. So like I don't know, that's a really cool concept. But yeah, like I said, from my experience, PlayStation was way more saturated with bots than PC was, which I thought was super weird switching over to PC. That might be the way for names, which is cool if they did, so you could play a character with the name you want versus it being taken. Yeah, I've never been a big fan of like, your name has been taken or that name has already been selected. Like, choose a different name. It's like, that always frustrated me. But no, not bots as in NPCs. Like, this is an NPC that we're staring at on the screen. I'm talking about bots as in, like, a player has developed an account that is automated movements. And people use these bots to farm materials in these games to collect massive. It automatically does it. Like they just like they set a pathway for it or a code or whatever that collects the materials. It kills certain ads. It gains an X amount of XP or whatever it is. They soak up all these materials and then they saturate the economy with like crafting materials, potion ingredients, things like that, and they make money from it. Which is one of the reasons why an economy in a game like this would have prices be so much cheaper, because if there's way more of that item floating in the ecosystem, then it's less valuable, technically speaking. If you have 100 potatoes and you can't eat 100 potatoes because you ain't hungry anymore because you just ate 10 potatoes, it's like that potato becomes less valuable, right? Starting zones are full of bots. Yeah. Look, there's ways to combat that. It's obviously not a healthy thing to have in your game. But, this is like maybe a different conversation from like the whole conversion of, or the whole merging of consoles to PCs.
I know of a few blades sacred to Boethia, but I am unfamiliar with lamps or skeins. They are not among the relics commonly associated with our ancestral spirits. However, there are more secrets preserved here than any one scholar could ever uncover.
What you recommend?
The Holomean Library, of course. We have many volumes found nowhere else. Follow me, champion. We keep the main entrance sealed, since the more stringent ordinators consider our brethren to be heretics.
All right.
I assure you, they are not.
All right, let's lead the way, buddy.
I just sent your
You didn't see any last week? Thought it was weird.
Down the stairs to your right.
I mean, companies do purges too. So like ZeniMax, for example, they probably have a schedule, which this is another thing that I think Pirate Software has spoken upon that is maybe not the right way to do it. But typically companies will have like a schedule and they say like, all right, once a month we're going to go through and purge all the bots because we know where they are and we know how to handle it the way it is. But it's kind of like a lazy approach from my understanding, is that if you run through once a month on a specific day of the week and a specific time of the day, it's easier for the people that are developing the bots and using them to farm materials to identify that and combat against it. Whereas if you do it randomly and you have different methods of doing it and you try to like keep things mixed up, it makes it more difficult for the people that are doing the botting and more efficient for the people that are like removing the bots from the system. So like there will be times where there's like an influx of bots where there's more than there are not, And then vice versa. There's going to be times where there's like no bots because they just like purged the system with whatever technique they use to identify them and remove them. I don't have any idea what Bethesda's or what ZeniMax's schedule looks like. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what they do, but that is one thought.
Secrecy is everything. Yet, we must leave something behind in the event that we fail.
This is cool.
Even if we succeed, the need to act again may arise some long tomorrow from now.
Those devout priests offered themselves so their princes could meet in secret. We must find the gate they used. It could be the access to Apocrypha Torvasad is seeking.
What about the relics? How do they fit in?
Torvasad said the relics would help him find Athelia. He must believe they will lead him to a gate to Apocrypha or the final glyphic in the mythos. We need to find the gate first, but I have no idea where the Shrine of Inevitable Secrets lies.
If it's a shrine of Hermaeus Mora, can't he just tell us where it is?
The course of fate is never that simple. Many futures branch from each choice we make. If we know too much, we risk altering our choices and changing the outcome. Therefore, Mora tells us only what he must. As fate's chosen, you will lead the way.
And how do you suggest I do that?
We are in a monastery dedicated to ancient knowledge. There must be a book or scholar here that can point the way. Abbot Andor said our coming was foretold. Perhaps the one we are meant to learn this secret from will know you as well.
Cool. I'll ask around. Gamer, I don't know what the answer is, to be honest. You say they should do random bi-monthly purges. I don't know if like every other month is enough for bots. I think they do tend to run amok, especially in MMOs and things like that. So I just I don't necessarily know what the right answer is, but I do know that like a random method and a random time of doing it is typically like the best way to do it, because it makes it more difficult for the people that are doing the botting to continue botting. Twice a month randomly? Bi-month? Oh, I gotcha. That'd be like, I think that's bi-weekly. But so twice a month randomly is, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess it depends on the severity. Like, how often you need to go through and cleanse your servers of bots would probably be defined by the amount of like people that you have botting on your servers. I don't know.
Curious. I sense a powerful arcane aura surrounding you. You carry something rarely seen on this mortal plane. It reeks of the black arts of oblivion.
Very well.
Wondrous. May I see it?
Sure.
Fascinating. A relic crafted by the Golden Eye himself. Few mortals have ever laid eyes on such a thing. I can see you have been chosen by Hermaeus Mora for something special. A rare honor indeed.
You worship Hermaeus.
Worship implies the subject of one's devotion desires adulation. Hermaeus Mora is beyond such vanities. I give him my respect, not my prayers. If one wishes to uncover the secrets of the plains, it is merely prudent.
Do you know where I can find the Shrine of Inevitable Secrets?
Ah, the fabled Shrine of Nabia. Some say the disaster occurred after the birth of the Tribunal, but I think it happened in the Merethic era. If it still stands, it would be along the shore to the north. Perhaps your relic can help you locate it.
Alright, that's interesting. You were smart enough and had your own server and your new bots bothered the players. You'd have some weekly purges. Yeah, well, I think that's the thing. That's what most companies do, is like weekly purges.
I overheard your conversation.
Or even like every other week or whatever.
Nabia is just to
But
the north of here. Gadain and I will meet you there.
with that being said, I believe that things like bots are, like anything else in the world that we live in, are a thing, like they're a product, basically. So like, the reason why randomizing purges and things like that I think is so effective is because there's typically like a company or a company, well, they're basically pirates. They're not really a company, if anything, because it's not technically legal. It is against terms of service to do this kind of thing. But I believe there's like if you go to a website like looking to purchase bots, because players do that. Players will be like, all right, like I know how I can benefit in game or even monetize in real life based off of this, because people trade real money for currencies within the game. People will like buy crowns or buy gold and stuff from websites online, which I cannot recommend you do. If you're going to do that, absolutely do your research and be safe about it, because you do not know what's okay and what's safe. But with that being said, people will buy things like bots too, and they'll go to a website, they'll purchase access to like bots and things like that, and they'll have them implemented into the servers. And the people or companies or whatever you want to call them that do that, that sell these bots as a product, have a very specific algorithm that they use to develop the bots, and they could just replicate them like over and over again, which is why like randomness works better. No, yeah, that's, well, okay, so what I'm saying, gamer, is that people find a way to make a living off of games like this. Like when you log into a new MMO, oftentimes you'll see like in chat a bunch of like Chinese letters. Often. And the Chinese letters are essentially like other players from across the world trying to sell you things like XP gain. They're trying to sell gold, they're trying to sell buffs or bonuses or jumps forward to help you progress, to help you get a lead. And there's ways to make money, real life money, by playing games like this. And I'm not just talking about like making YouTube videos or something. Like they'll you'll see this on the PC servers a lot, but like you'll see like a big paragraph that pops up in the zone chat that says like, want to sell Kuta, just visit website so and so and so and so. And the Kuta is a crafting material for things like enchantments in the game. And so yeah, that's why people use bots and stuff too, is because they can obtain mass amounts of specific materials and then sell them for real money and whatnot. So it's kind of gross and slimy, but it is a thing, it exists, and that's why there's measures in place to prevent that from happening, like purges of bots and things like that. What are your thoughts on multi-boxing? I don't even know what that is. What is multi-boxing? My nose is so itchy today. It's itchy every day, dude. I don't know what the problem is lately. I want to say it's my allergies, but I don't know why. It feels like my nose hairs are growing. Just in there wiggling. I do have to sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry, that one took a minute. Is that a fishing hole? Yeah, it is. Let's do a little fishing. You played 5 mages at once in World of Warcraft? Wait, so what is multi-boxing then? Is that the concept of playing, like, multiple of the same character? Do you comb your mustache? I do. I do. Sometimes, thank you, Sabs. Sometimes my mustache will start to grow up into my nose, and that's friggin' annoying. Boom. Oh, okay. So multi-boxing being playing multiple of the same characters at once. I don't care, dude. Doesn't bother me at all. Like, it's not necessarily something I want to do as a player. I have no reason to do that. But if you as a player, as an individual, enjoy playing a game like that, then what's stopping you? Now, I've got no room to say, like, no, you shouldn't do that. Like, that doesn't make any sense for me to say what you should and shouldn't do in a game that you enjoy doing, as long as it's not affecting the integrity of, like, other players. Which is why things like bots are a problem. Because bots do affect the experience that other players have in a negative way, oftentimes. It would be you playing a full team. Wait, how do you do... Wait, what? How do you control 5 characters at once, then? I don't understand. Like some people multi-box raids? I don't know how you do that. You cut you cut your mustache and look Amish, but it's what it is. Yeah, dude, I do the same thing. I absolutely do the same thing. No itching or food rubbing your lips. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I'm not Amish either, but I do oftentimes get mistaken for an Amish person when I cut my mustache. So you do it with a background program? Yeah, I don't know. I think in PvE circumstances, that's probably fine, generally. I don't know if it's against the terms of service or not. If it is against terms of service, then obviously it's not cool because the people that run the game say no, right? And you're playing their game, so you should respect their wishes. But I don't know. In PvP circumstances, if you are controlling an entire 5-man crew, like, that I think is probably wrong to do. Yeah. I see what you're saying. So it controls everything you do, controls all the characters at once. That's interesting. Yeah, I think in PvE, I would consider that to be less intrusive. It's impossible in PvP. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say in PvP, man, like, the reason why there's group PvP plays is to incentivize things like communication and working together and teamwork. All those different factors are, like, I would imagine, like, way overachieved when it comes to something like what you said multi-boxing is. I don't think that's fair, so I don't know. I mean, imagine though, like, if you were playing, how many players, like, alright, so say, for example, in Battlegrounds, it's 8v8. Imagine you were all 8 players. And all 8 players did the same thing, and they just nuked an enemy, like, all simultaneously. Like, that would be really unfair. The other characters are useless. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. That's really interesting. I guess it makes sense though. So it's not like cross compatible. Like, controlling one character doesn't just control them all. It's only controlling your character controls them all, is what you're saying. Dude, it is dumping rain outside. It would be a good day to sit at home and play video games all day.
Looky.
Electrum, sell that trash. I think I'm gonna start deconstructing purples again, rather than selling them. And all the rings too, because that is just what I think I need to do. It's so expensive to buy the platinum.
There's really no such...
Alright, let's get out of here. No worries, Fractured, man. Thank you very much for hanging out. It's always a pleasure, dude. Take care of yourself, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, dude. Or night. Whatever time it is. Alright, I can't help myself. We're fishing today. So the multi-boxing is more like a bot. It's like botting, but more macro-based, and you had to control it. WoW allowed it as long as you were controlling it. So is ooh, what that? That cool. Ooh, gold. Ooh, it's a furnishing, dude. Interesting. All right. Yeah. So as long as you're controlling it, they allowed it. That makes sense. Like, I don't. Oh wow, that was literally 2 fish out of that hole. I don't know if that's like. As a developer of WoW, do you look at something like that and say, if we take it away, is it gonna benefit or hurt the player base? Like in PvE circumstances, people that use it, taking it away, it's gonna hurt them. That's gonna be upsetting to them. People that don't use it, taking it away, is it hurting them? Is it affecting them in any way? Not really. I don't think, as long as it is PvE, I just don't think that that's actually affecting anybody. With the exception of like trading items and stuff like that. Like say you're getting, you can macro or multi-box or whatever, and essentially carry another player through the game by being, say it's like a 5-man raid, you and 3 other bots make 4, and then you carry another player, and that player gives you gold or whatever currency for it. That's a little bit cheesy, but I think generally it would probably be okay. And not only that, but as a developer, it's like, alright, if we want to fight this, if we want to take this away, how much effort and time and dedication is it going to take from us as developers to either remove this or combat this in some way? And is it, whoa, the inner sea, what? Is it going to be worth your time and effort and dedication compared to like the effect that it has on the player base? I don't know. You had to pay for 5 accounts? Yeah, I would imagine you would. You'd have to pay for it. Somebody would probably run a piece of software or have like a download for it or whatever it is, and they would charge people money for it. Yeah, of course. I totally get that. I wouldn't buy it myself.
The Prince of Baths caused the sea to swallow this ancient city. Hermona's temple now lies beneath the waves.
Then that is where
Look at all these friggin' prologue quests.
Methala, Lady of Whispers, take this mortal shell.
I am ready. Boethia, I call upon you. Dark warrior, let me
Obviously.
the conclave of princes.
The priests allow their princes to possess them and waded into the water. Huh. I know where to find the shrine. Obviously, Anudnabia's lost shrine sunk into the sea ages ago. A fitting end for a place dedicated to the master of the tides of fate.
Oh.
But that will make it difficult to reach.
I see what you're saying. You weren't just paying like another person out there who developed the software. You were paying Blizzard. Yeah, that's a pretty good reason why they would not remove something like that from the game. That's a lot more understandable.
A submerged shrine calls for a powerful spell. I shall weave an arcane shield that will allow us to breathe and walk upon the seafloor. Once those ancient priests were possessed, they must have done the same. Enter the sea when you are ready.
Hell yeah, dude. I want to do this. Please give me an actual scene or animation where I'm moving under the water. Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love this mechanic, dude. I can jump. I can cast abilities? Oh, that's a big deal. Oh, that's cool. Look at that giant freaking crab, dude. I want to kill stuff. Let me participate. Let me... Is that alive? Oh.
This is incredible. Look at us.
Dude.
Strolling along the seabed like it was a street in Necrom.
Oh, I love this. Man, there's a dungeon with something similar to this, but not quite as good as this. And I've always looked at that mechanic in the dungeon and been like, more. I want more. Look at that, dude. Is that a drowner? What is that, dude? What? I don't... Oh my gosh! Scared me. He knocked me over. Oh, this makes me happy, man. Are they fighting? Imagine he could pop my bubble. I'm so thrilled, dude. I want a world like this. I want a whole world. Forget Solstice. This is cooler. The music fits it perfectly, too. Huh. Oh, Prophecy of a New Do Do Do. Lore books, dude. This is unnecessary. That was so freaking unnecessary. He did not have to do that. I feel like this brought a whole new sense of wonder and amazement to ESO for me.
Up ahead. I think I see the shrine.
This is it. After you, Proxy.
This is very cool. This is... What a quest is this? This is the prologue quest for Apocrypha? Well done, dude. We need to start knocking out some of these prologue quests. They're starting to fill up the quest log inventory. What happened, buddy?
An island? Where are
That was cute.
And who are those warriors?
A demiplane, not an island. We are no longer on Nern.
Oh.
Torvasad must be near. I doubt the recollection reached this place without his help.
Laramil is exhausted. Go on. Find Torvasad. We'll catch up.
Nice, man. We need to make sure that we're actually doing the prologue quest before we get into whatever world that the prologue is for. I think. Maybe I should start doing that. Because I don't think I did one for Somerset. And I definitely didn't do one for Vvardenfell, if there was one. Vvardenfell's old enough that I think maybe there wouldn't have been one. Nice.
Boethia's blade led me to this portal. The path to the Mythos. Apocrypha's heart.
I remember this guy.
Only those bearing the essence of Azura, Boethia or Mephala can access this portal. The gate recognizes Boethia's blade. Now I can return to the Mythos and find my prince at last.
What if I went with you?
A permanent portal to the Mythos. I did not
guess
know
that's a
such
no.
a thing existed.
Chosen of fate, hold. We must speak.
The one who knows is here. Speak with him, Proxy.
He looks a little bit different than he did last time I saw him.
Torvasar proves surprisingly resourceful. I created this gate to admit none but the mortal vessels of my allies to Apocrypha. Yet the relic of Boethia he carries deceived my defenses. Ah, clever ploy.
Where did he go?
Torvasar has breached the mythos, the heart of my realm. Twice before he found his way to a glyphic, holding part of the secret he seeks. Only one part remains sealed. You must stop him from reaching the glyphic of shattered reflections.
Okay, the gate is closed, and we don't have any Boethias or Ormafala relics, so how do we do it?
I created this gate, and I command it still. Behold, this portal is opened, and will take you where Torvasar has gone. What happens next is in your hands. I dare not interfere with fate more than I have.
What do you mean you dare not interfere?
You are the chosen of fate. This task is appointed to you, not by me, but by the demands of causality and consequence. If I try to stop Torvasar, I will fail. You, however, always have a chance. That is the nature of mortals.
Interesting. I didn't expect to be diving into this prologue quest, but it was conveniently placed in Vvardenfell.
The mythos of Apocrypha. Heart of Hermaeus Mora's domain.
I remember an answer.
Torvasar is somewhere ahead of us.
Samurai, what up, man? We're diving somewhere.
Laramil's amulet can protect us both.
That's cool as crap. Okay. I didn't think it would hurt.
Cecilia's son.
Get closer to me, friend.
Shall revitalize you.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited to get to Apocrypha. I can't rush it, though. We shouldn't even be doing this right now. We should wait to do the prologue before Apocrypha. Looks like you're diving into the tentacle books. You're not waking up with the woman. Wait, what? Forgot the name of this place, and you're not waking the woman up to find out. Oh, you're saying your wife knows. I thought you meant like, I don't know what I thought you meant. So this would be Apocrypha, I believe. What's that guy doing?
Shardborn? Who in oblivion?
I do not recognize these Dremora.
He was chilling.
Perhaps Torvasard is not the only one beginning to remember the forgotten prince.
I remember our realm. Miramon! This Thelia's servants awake!
Stand close and let me shield you.
My apologies, mortal. They see anyone marked by Mora as a foe, and I have no time to tell them any different.
Laramil's gift protects us both.
Shake the foundations of a power above my brothers and sisters.
Let's face renew your vigor, Foxy.
That was good. That was pretty cool. This is way cooler than any boss fight in the overworld I've ever seen. Aside from like world bosses and stuff.
He found the last glyphic.
The last glyphic and the final secret. I must know what happened to Prince Ethelia.
Flashbacks, watch out.
Defeated Prince Ethelia. Now we must all forget our victory.
Forget? Why should I forget how I took this mortal shell and tracked Ethelia with my skein?
Azura and I did our part with these vessels of flesh. And the land, and abolish her.
Listen, my fellow princes. The Lord of Fate is right. Imprison Ethelia in your mythos, Mora. Then erase all memory of her existence.
Imprisoned by cowards, abandoned by betrayers. But I remember, and I know how to free my prince.
Oh, this is interesting.
Sealed away, alone for millennia. I will free my prince and restore her glory.
Cool door.
Empty. Oblivion and none for ages. Tormented by a question I could not even frame. This is my answer! I did not forget my friend!
Should pick that sword up and keep it.
I do not understand. Where is Prince Ethelia? If she escaped, why did she not contact me? You! Is this some new trick of the Lord of Fate?
I'm as surprised as you are.
No, this is no trick. Do you see? Prince Ethelia has escaped. She freed herself from this prison, or was freed by some hand other than mine. Perhaps the simple act of remembering restored her power, dissolved her bonds. I do not know.
If she escaped, where'd she go?
Prince Ethelia is the mistress of the untraveled road. She could be anywhere. Perhaps she will be drawn to places or things she knew before her craven foes locked her away. Yes, that must be right. And I know what I must do. Farewell, mortal.
Where are you going?
I still have a task to do. I need to find my prince, Help her. Restore her to the power that is hers by right. And there are other scions out there. I remember them too now. Mortal. Fate's chosen. I expect our paths will cross again.
Wait.
A fate forged the moment Torvasad opened the first glyphic and began to remember. Return to the Mythos Vault, mortal. We must speak.
We're gonna squeak out a daily dungeon after this. Hi. 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 What a freak, dude.
I am called the Master of the Tides of Fate. I perceive everything that may come to pass. Yet, I cannot select the outcomes I prefer. Choice and chance determine which possibility actually occurs. Such as this one. Ethelia is free.
You said that if Torvasad succeeded, reality would end. Were you wrong?
I did not lie, chosen of fate. Nor was I mistaken. I told you what you needed to know to avert catastrophe, and catastrophe has been averted. For now, the outcome I foresaw will still come to pass. It is only a matter of time.
How did she escape?
This spire was never Etheria's prison. Being forgotten was. The moment Torvasad finally remembered his prince, its power to hold Etheria began to wane. Now, new paths form before us. Some lead to survival, others destruction.
What can we do to avoid destruction, then?
A question we all must ponder. Ethelia and her Ilkar, unseen. I cannot perceive their actions, nor can I share what I surmise, lest I unduly affect the course of events. Take counsel with Laramil the Wise, and wait for a new path to open.
Yeah, I feel like they did a really good job portraying Hermaeus Mora through this. It's very good.
Prince Ethelia has escaped her prison, yet reality persists. And Torvasad understood events no better than we do. As I have seen time and time again, the machinations of Oblivion are far beyond mortal comprehension.
Hermaeus told me to seek your counsel.
So I heard. And he did not send us to pursue Torvasad. It appears that the next step we take must be our choice. We should return to Nirn, regroup, and follow the advice of the one who knows. Wait for a path to open before us.
Isn't Ethelia the Prince of Paths?
That fact has not escaped me, Proxy. Torvasad spoke of restoring his lost realm. Miramor, he called it. And he thought that Ethelia would return to places that were familiar to her. Let us return to Grotwood and confer with your friend Baragon.
Alright. Sorry about the yawn. We really do need to get some of these prologue quests out of the inventory, but I'm tempted to wait to continue this. Where are we? Okay, I see. Alright, we'll do this dialogue.
I am relieved to observe the perpetuation of the macrocosm. Our reality has not unraveled yet. For now, we must wait and watch. Eventually, I shall notice Torvasad's passing in the threads of fate. Then I shall send for you, Proxy.
So that's just it? We wait.
For now, yes. From things Torvasard said, I expect we will find him in Westweald. I shall confer with Baragon about the area and alert you when you are needed. Thanks to you, even though Athelia is free, we still have a chance to preserve our world.
Alright.
Prince Athelia, the Forgotten Prince. The prince that Hermaeus Mora so feared that he imprisoned her and erased her from existence. Now she is free and Torvasard searches for her. I suspect we will see signs of their activity before too long.
Well, that was interesting. Did that get that out of my... Daedric Essence? I think that got that out of my prologue. Man, we're hurting on inventory space here for prologue, or for quests in general. Like, I wouldn't be against dropping the Solstice. What does it call for aid? I guess we're going back there, but let's do a... Am I set? I think I'm set. Let's go do a public dungeon. Or, you know what? Hold on a minute. I need to do something. I've been meaning to do this. I keep forgetting about it. Let's go make a bow. I might even have it. Might be in the bank. But it might not have the right trade on it. I think I'd like it to be sharpened. What is it called? The Maelstrom bow or something. Oh, I have a dagger. Oh, wow. Maelstrom's perfected bow. I have this. Why am I not using it? I was about to reconstruct it, but I don't need to. Physical damage restores stamina. I don't really think it matters what the enchantment is on this. Yeah, but the bow itself needs changed. What do we use here? I mean, I guess, like, I don't know, I could use this one, but we're just gonna use that for now. We'll just keep them the same. Alright, and then what else was I gonna do? We need to... We have volley. Imperfect Ring's not ready to be morphed, but it's very close. We're level 46 with Herald of the Tome. The goal is to get this maxed out. Once we hit this with 50, we can exchange the class around. We can make a new build. What do we got? What y'all hiding in here? This is pretty cool. It's pretty stankin' good looking. It's very bright. I like bright stuff. I'm gonna do it. Alright. You know what? I need more weapons and stuff. What is this one? The Dromothra. That's cool looking. Oh, dude, this cinch. This cinch is like from way back. I feel like I had this. Actually, I know I had this cinch on PlayStation like forever ago. That's one of the mounts that I missed having. This is very cool looking. All right, I've got the crowns. I've been sitting on them waiting for something. Oh, that's a costume. They're not that cool. Man, 500. Oh my gosh. That's a ton of... 700 crowd gems is criminal. For that. That's a cool mount, though. It's tough to see, because it's, like, behind the wall, but... Name change tokens, race change tokens. I'm half tempted to pick up a race change token, too. While it's on sale. Just to sit on it for now. In case I change my mind about being a Khajiit one day. I think I do want this mount, I'm not gonna lie. I'm doing it. Screw it, man. Forget about it. Don't even... Nope. It's mine. It's in the pocket. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. It actually goes with this, this blue very well. You just watched a grown man break. I broke down. Normally I don't buy anything, but I couldn't help myself. Down here? Every single time I go to this way shrine, I miss this sky shard. Every time. We're getting it today. Alright, and then we can queue for a random veteran dungeon too. Do I have the passives here for this? Are these active? They are. Alright, and I still have enough skill points. We're fine. Alright, so while we're queued, where are we going now? We're gonna go back to Vvardenfell, but... Call for aid. Is that the quest I'm looking for? Yeah, I guess it is. Dang it. My dodge roll is bound to my, like, upward scroll. And sometimes if my mouse falls off of the map a little bit. Yeah. When we properly change our build, when we get out of the whatever the freaking heck we're in right now, Herald of the Tome, we'll change the gear and we'll change the mount, and it'll look cool and it'll all match. You did not see that. Nope, he didn't see it.
Another adventurer looking for work?
Yes.
Did you? Well, that's why it was posted. It's simple. Citizens tell us what they need, and we arrange for the job to be completed. You will be able to meet with the client before starting the task. They'll also have your reward, not us. Belleru Omeril and her brother Traylan will handle your assignments. Check in with them frequently to see if they have a job for you. They'll inform you what you need to accomplish and who made the request.
Cool. Alright.
I would hope. You came to us, after all. Traylan and Belleru are just down the hall. They should already have assignments for you.
Thanks, dude. So, I'm thinking actually, we don't really need to do a daily dungeon like today. Oh, that just unlocks the daily job brokers. Alright, that's fine. We don't need to do that right now. We could always, like, do the daily dungeon tomorrow. Because it'll be, like...
Not? You aren't clever. The law found you and demands its due. Did you not notice my foul mood?
I can't get rid of this stuff, man. I gotta go sell it in Somerset, dude. Excuse me. Wonder if you can chain people out of water. Like, if he ran up to that ledge and chained me, if he could yoink me all the way back out, that'd be kind of interesting. Alright, we're just gonna do a little thing here. That's a good PvP potion. Or poison. The trapping poison applies hindrance and immobilize to your target, reducing their movement speed. And wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna run out of these stinking pardons too. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait, what? There's no way it's down here. No, it's not down here. And I'm not selling goods at this place. We're going for that achievement. The goal is to get every achievement for everything, I guess. Eventually, that's a lot to ask, but
is it always this?
Right now, that's what I'm focused on. We'll get all the achievements, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's fine. But we might as well, like, at least try. Mages Guild? I don't understand where this is. Ah. Ivea, the Knives of the Long Shadows. I think that was also Mafio's nickname in high school, Long Shadow. I didn't expect it to be another freaking prologue quest. And I kind of wish it would tell you what it was for. Like, I wish the name of the quest line, or in the description of the quest line, it said specifically, like, hey, this is for this starting zone or something like that. Because you can't really tell. Makes it kind of difficult. Like, I think that the Ravenwatch inquiry is for Solstice. But I picked one up. I don't know. I don't know what I picked up. We'll just have to, like, start focusing on prologue quests eventually. I don't know. It would be nice to be able to do them specifically, like the one that correlates to the zone that we're going to before we go into that zone, but I might not even put that much effort into it. I might just, like, knock them out here and there. They are long. They're, like, decently extensive quests, so it takes a hot minute to do it. Also, crapola, antiquities. 19 hours. Why would you notify me then? Alright. 9 days. We need to do this weekend. This. 4 days. 4 days. Yeah, there's a handful of these that are getting pretty close. Which one was 19 hours? We already have the one for 19 hours. Okay. I keep forgetting to look through this. Leads in Solstice already? 6 days. Alright. What's today? Tuesday? Four days. Gosh darn it. Let's maybe go do this quick. In Bankerai. Because I'll forget about it for the rest of the week. And then Saturday I'll roll around and I'll be like, oh, freaking crap, dang it. Oh, ooh. Forgot about that lead. Right? Wish you the luck of Lady Mara, man. Thanks, Saps. Much appreciated, dude. Wish you the best too, man. I appreciate you hanging out. And take it easy. Take care of yourself, man. Do I want another one of these? Not really. Do I want another one of those? No, not really. Oh, there it is. Alright, we'll knock these two out, and I think I'll double check the leads again just to see if there's anything that's like less than 5 days. And if so, we'll probably just like do that real quick. I hate letting leads expire, man. That's one of the things that I wish that wasn't the case. I would prefer it if the leads didn't have a time period on them. It would just be freaking a lot more relaxing without one. But it is what it is. It's fine. I hate to say it, but we're gonna do that dungeon tomorrow too. Sorry, teammates. I forgot I was queued. There's a chest. Alright, man. Good night to you, Sabs. Thank you very much, man. It's always a pleasure. We're just gonna do it the easy way. Dwarven rib frame. I think that's for the mount. It is. Nice, dude. We'll get the mount eventually. I'm not really gonna push for it too hard, but if we get it, we get it. Heck yeah. Right. I guess we're swimming.
What?
A fishing hole. Dang it, dude. Fishing is such a friggin' different adventure. It's like a whole game's worth of fishing. Like, not because... that sounded stupid the way it came out. Not like... the amount of time you can spend fishing in ESO is basically an entire game's worth of time spent doing that. It's ridiculous. Am I gonna get jumped? I think I'm gonna get jumped. Alright. What else were we missing? Aside from ones we already have, I'm not worried about that. Not that one. I think, we could probably go through, like, this weekend and do all of the ones that we're missing. No matter what the time period is. See, we already have that one. Six days, we already have that anyway. Alright, yeah, that looks good. We'll, hopefully I don't forget, but we'll jump into the leads this weekend. We are going to wrap up. I feel like I didn't get much progress through the quest line in Vvardenfell today done, but we made progress nonetheless. Progress is progress, even if it's not specifically in Vvardenfell where we're supposed to be going. So, we're going to jump back into this tomorrow. And I want to thank you guys very much for hanging out, man. Anybody interested, and if you do not know, there is a Discord link down somewhere, wherever you're at. There's Twitch and YouTube too. There's links to those as well. If you'd like, you can jump on either one of those. And I wish you all the best, man. You guys are freaking awesome. You guys are so cool, dude. I really am grateful for everything that you guys do for the channel. Subscribing, liking the video, all that stuff goes a really, really long way. It really carries the channel. And I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, so... Like I said, I wish you all the very best, and I will catch you tomorrow at 3 a.m. EST. I keep saying that I'm going to get a schedule to you. I keep forgetting. That's the schedule, 3 a.m. EST. Good night.